A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Kroger Tender Ray Beef, no other beef so fresh can be so tender, presents Hearts in Harmony transcribed. K is for Kroger, C is for cut, B is for beef. KCB means Kroger Cut Beef, and Kroger Cut Beef means more meat for your money. It's a fact, ladies, and here's the reason Kroger Cut Beef gives you more meat, less waste. Before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, excess waste, and stringy ends. Yes, that's before the meat is weighed and priced. So you can see that means more meat for your money. You get top U.S. government grades of beef, meat that's tender, juicy, rich red, and marbled with just the right amount of flavory fat. You get a better value in top-grade beef. For example, when you buy a Kroger-cut porterhouse steak, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes the long, stringy end and excess waste before the steak is weighed and priced. You don't pay steak price for stringy meat and excess waste. Remember, whether you buy a steak or roast, you receive more meat, less waste. But see for yourself. Visit your neighborhood Kroger store. Get Kroger-cut beef and get more meat for your money. And now, Hearts in Harmony. Freddie Lang never did have any love for Penny Gibbs' friend Peg Martin. And when he caught her coaching her young daughter Julie on being especially attentive to wealthy Barry Carlton, his feeling turned into an active dislike. Fearing that Freddie will go to Penny with what he heard, Peg speaks to Penny first. She says,
Penny, are you in a hurry?
Oh, Peg, I did promise to meet Barry downtown.
This will only take a minute.
All right, what is it?
Well, I don't know quite how to explain it, and maybe I should wait till you have more time.
Hey, you look so serious. What's wrong?
Nothing, only...
Only what?
Penny, Freddie Lang overheard me talking to Julie yesterday about Barry, and I think he misunderstood what it was about.
Well, what makes you think so?
Well, he was very angry. He seemed to have the idea that I was planning to take Barry away from you.
Oh, Peg, what in the world did you say that made him think that?
Oh, I can see where he got that idea. He didn't give me a chance to explain. You see, it all began when Julie said she didn't like Barry.
Julie doesn't like Barry. Why not?
Oh, it isn't that she doesn't like him, but she said something about liking him the least of everyone she's met here, and I said she should be nice to Barry because he likes her very much.
Oh, of course he does. But, how did that make Freddie think well, whatever he did?
Well, it was really what I said after that. You see, I was trying to tell Julie how nice Barry is by saying that he's very rich and likes to do things for little girls who are nice to him, and that he was so wonderful he's the kind of man any girl would like to marry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to convince her by saying that even I would like to marry him. Well, I think that's what convinced Freddie I was planning to take Barry away from him.
Oh, poor Freddie. He's so afraid that someone will hurt me that he's suspicious of anyone who even mentions my name.
Penny, I hope you won't be upset if Freddie says anything to you about what I say.
No, of course I won't be upset, Peg.
But he's going to warn you that I'm trying to ruin your romance.
Freddie's been a little premature with his warnings before. I'll tell him that I know all about it and that it's all right.
Well, maybe you'd better not tell him I told you about this. He may want to make something of this, too.
Okay, I won't tell him.
Then you won't believe what he tells you. I'll admit he'll tell you the truth, but his interpretation is all wrong.
He has a habit of misinterpreting a lot of things. No, Peg, nothing to worry about, really. Oops, there's the doorbell.
Oh, maybe Barry got off work early and come to pick you up.
Yeah, maybe.
Hello, Penny.
Hello, Johnny.
Well, you look as if you're all dressed up to go somewhere.
Matter of fact, I'm going out right this second.
Oh, hi, Peg.
Hello, Johnny.
You can go right in and see Jeff if you
To
like.
tell the truth, I came to see you, Penny.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry, Johnny, but I do have to run.
Oh. Well, in that case, how about letting me give you a lift?
No, thanks, Johnny. I really do
come
have
on.
to...
We can talk in the car on the way.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd rather not this afternoon. That's just the thing, though. Bye, Peg.
Bye, Penny. Have a nice time.
I think I will. Bye, Johnny.
So long, Penny. Well, that's a new one. Peg, what's the matter with her?
Nothing, Johnny. She's going to meet Barry. Maybe that's why she didn't want you to drive her downtown.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess it would be a little awkward for the ex to deliver his girl to the new.
You're certainly taking it very well, Johnny.
Taking what well?
Penny and Barry are going to be married, you know.
Oh, they are? When?
Oh, it isn't official yet, but soon, I think.
Oh, it's gone that far, has it?
I thought you knew. I should think you'd be the first one Penny would tell.
Well, I guess she thought she didn't have to tell me, Peg. I sensed it a long time ago. I knew Barry was in love with Penny months ago, but I didn't know she'd fallen in love with him so soon.
She didn't know she was in love with him until all of a sudden it just hit her.
Yeah. I think I remember the time, too. She saw you out driving with Barry one morning.
And that did it. I guess you hate me, don't you?
Well, why should I hate you?
Well, if Penny hadn't been struck with a little human jealousy, she might still be in love with you.
Penny hasn't been in love with me for a long time.
How do you know?
Well, isn't it obvious? But look at the way she just treated me. It's been the same way for a long time.
Well, I will admit that Barry Carlton has taken her place, but if you still wanted Penny as much as I think you do, I think there's plenty of hope.
No, I'm afraid Penny and I are going to be nothing more than friends. Special friends, of course, but that's going to be the end of it.
I'm ashamed of you, Johnny.
Well, I'm only facing the facts.
To face facts means to look them hard and study them and then do something about them. You're just letting the girl you love walk away from you.
Oh, now, Peg, you don't know all the facts yourself.
Well, I know what it is to be in love with someone and have that someone turn to someone else. And I know what to do in a case like that, Johnny. Fight. Fight for the person you love.
Now, I've gone beyond the fighting stage as far as Penny's concerned.
You mean you've stopped loving her?
Well, let's say that's what I mean.
But it isn't what you mean. You mean you're so much in love with Penny, you'll sacrifice your own happiness to let her do something you think will make her happy.
Well, Penny would do that for me.
Of course she would. She loves you that much. There wouldn't be anything wrong with what you're doing either, except maybe she isn't really as much in love with Barry as she is with you.
Oh, I doubt that.
Well, I'm not saying it's true. As far as I can see, Penny's very much in love with Barry. But, Johnny, she loved you once. She loved you very dearly and very deeply. That kind of love can't be turned off.
Well, if Penny still loves me, why is she going to marry Barry Carlton?
Well, I'm not saying this is true, and for Penny's sake, I hope it isn't. But when you and Penny broke up, Penny was left with a pretty empty heart. See, just loving a person isn't enough to fill a woman's heart. She has to have that person, too.
And so Barry came along and just filled up the empty space, huh?
Yes. But I'm not saying this is true, Johnny. I'm just trying to show you how Penny could still be as much in love with you as she ever was, and not even know it herself.
Well, I hope you're not right, Peg.
You hope I'm not right?
Mm-hmm. Because I let things with Barry go as far as this, thinking I was out of the picture long ago. Now there's nothing I can do.
Oh, yes, there is. If you think Penny just thinks she's in love with Barry, plead your own case with her. Wake her up. Snap her out of it. That is, if you think she isn't really in love with Barry.
Do you think she is?
I don't know. All I know is that it's impossible to love two people as she loved you, Johnny. And I don't think her feelings for you have changed one bit.
Well, maybe I ought to think about this a little.
Well, then maybe you better think fast. Because Barry Carlton isn't the kind of man who likes the sound of long engagements. I wouldn't be surprised if they were married.
Oh, I'm glad we came down the street, Barry.
Yeah?
I just remembered I want to make an appointment at the hairdresser.
What suddenly reminded you of that, Penny?
Because this is my hairdresser right here. Come on in. It'll only take a minute.
Oh, no, nothing doing. I'll wait out here.
Oh, you menu.
Now, hurry, darling. It's a long way to the country club, and I'm hungry.
Yeah, so am I. I will hurry. Don't worry.
Wow. Look at the man with a 6-foot stride, Johnny Keefe.
Hello, Barry. How's everything?
Oh, great. Couldn't be better, Johnny.
Oh, glad to hear it. By the way, I thought you were with Penny this afternoon.
I am. We're going to dinner at the club, but right now she's making an appointment in the hairdresser's here.
Oh, and you've waited outside.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I hate these places myself. I owe you congratulations, don't I?
Congratulations for what?
Well, I understand that you and Penny...
Oh, well, thanks, Johnny. It hasn't gone that far yet, but I will accept your congratulations for the fact that she loves me.
Well, if she is in love with you, Barry, you have my heartiest congratulations. But I want to tell you something.
Yeah? What?
You'll be better to her than I was, understand?
Because if you aren't, you'll have to answer to me. And believe me, I can throw some plenty tough questions and a few other things that hit hard, too. I hope you understand exactly what I mean.
Oh, good night, Barry. It really was wonderful.
Night, Penny. Oh, wait.
Mm-hmm.
That's for being the most wonderful girl in the world.
Oh, thank you, darling. You really better wait till you've known all the girls in the world before you say that.
Oh.
Good night.
Night.
Oh, golly. Penny? Oh, hello, Peggy. You still up?
Yes, I am.
Hey, what's the matter? You're still dressed.
I know. I couldn't sleep. I would have read, but I didn't want to waken Julie. So I got dressed and went out for a walk.
Awful when you can't sleep, isn't it?
Well, fortunately, this doesn't happen to me very often. Penny?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a wonderful time?
Oh, yes, Peg. It was more than wonderful.
I'm so glad. Tell me, have you and Barry set the date?
Matter of fact, that's kind of funny. We didn't even talk about it.
Really? That's strange. I certainly thought that he would pester you to death until you said when.
Well, I told him the other evening that I'd tell him when.
Oh. Well, and let's see. Do you know when?
Would you think I was awful if I said I want it to be as soon as possible?
No, but, Penny, I think you'd be making a mistake.
What do you mean, a mistake? Why?
Well, I certainly wouldn't say this if I didn't feel about you, if I didn't love you as though you were my own sister. But believe me, Penny, marriage is an awfully important step. It isn't something to be rushed into.
I know that, but...
Penny, don't rush into this thing. Oh, you can set a date, of course. You certainly don't want to put Barry off for too long. That isn't very fair to him. But why don't you make the wedding date several months off, or, well, anyway, as far off as he'll stand for
Well,
it?
why, Peg?
Because so much can happen in so short a time. And if you find out things aren't the way they seem, it's much better to find them out before you marry than after.
You're afraid that Barry isn't the man I should marry, aren't you? You didn't talk that way a little while ago.
But I've been thinking, darling. That's why I couldn't sleep tonight. Jim seemed to be perfect for me before we were married, just as Barry seems to be perfect for you. But if I'd only waited a little while instead of rushing to marry, think of the heartache I would have missed.
I guess maybe it would be smart for me to wait a while, wouldn't it?
Very smart, Penny. Very smart indeed.
Peg certainly gets her way with Penny, doesn't she? Will what she told Johnny Keith help her to take Barry away from Penny? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. KCB. KCB. KCB means Kroger cut beef, and Kroger cut beef means more meat for your money. Yes, Kroger cut beef gives you more meat, less waste, because before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, excess waste, and stringy ends. In buying Kroger cut rib roast, for example, you don't pay rib roast price for excess bone and waste. The chine bone is trimmed, the waste and short rib end removed, giving you top U.S. government grades of beef that's tender, juicy, rich red, and marbled with just the right amount of flavory fat. And before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, waste, and stringy ends. Remember, whether you buy a steak or roast, Kroger cut beef gives you more meat for your money. But mind you can get Kroger cut beef only at your neighborhood Kroger store. So go there as soon as you can. Step up to the meat counter and ask the Kroger meat man for Kroger cut beef. You'll get delicious and juicy and tender beef, and you'll get more meat, less waste. That means you get more meat for your money at your Kroger store. Listen in again tomorrow, same time, same station, for another thrilling transcribed chapter of Hearts in Harmony.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire.
from the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, Pictures Don't Lie, by Catherine McLean.
I had been writing science stories for the Times for a few years before the whole business of the aliens came up. I got on to doing science because I wasn't a very good sports writer, and the Guild made it clear to the manager that I had enough seniority to make it tough to fire me. So, when Masters went over to Life magazine, I was shoved into his spot. Now, being the man from the Times on any given story is quite a responsibility. It's not quite as so inspiring as the London Times. You remember the butler announcing there were several reporters and a gentleman from the Times? But we're supposed to look as if we didn't specialize in axe murders and picking winners at Jamaica. Of course, it pays off. You find scientists, atomic energy commissioners, even congressmen will open up to the Times man. And that's how I got on the inside of this whole business. I had met Joseph Nathan at a convention in Atlantic City, and when he invited me to look over this work, I accepted.
I don't think there's anything classified in this work, Mr. Schwartz, as long as I don't actually supply you the text of messages.
I got a department clearance up to most confidential.
Well, that should do it. Hello, Max.
Hi.
You see, my job is radio decoder in the department here.
Under the Pentagon directly?
Department of Military Intelligence.
Uh-huh.
I use a directional pickup to tune in on foreign bands, record any scrambled or coded messages I hear.
I thought the code department was handled under CIA.
Well, I guess there is some duplication. Actually, though, I concentrate on the scrambled messages.
I see.
Here, I can show you. Come over here. Look out for the table.
Yeah.
Anybody want coffee?
I've got a piece of tape here. This is a typical scrambled broadcast. It's not military. It's a commercial message.
Oh.
Wait a minute till I thread up the machine.
Sure.
You know the basic principles. You take a straight voice message, run it through on an electronic scramble circuit. It may come out something like this. My job is to pick a thing like that out of the air, analyze the patterns, and wire an unscrambler. I've got this particular pattern set up on the machine, you see.
Tanker number 734, capacity code 7, estimated time of arrival at Galveston 30.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that was just a commercial message. I do the same thing with military intelligence.
Is it something like old-fashioned cryptology?
Well, yes, except there's a small complication. You need a degree in advanced electronics, waveform math with a touch of quantum physics.
I suppose it's quite challenging, then, every time you pick up a new signal.
In a way. Actually, they do the same work in every country these days. Everybody knows it's just a matter of time before any scrambled pattern is broken. It's pretty routine.
Ever pick up anything exciting?
Well, actually, most of the messages, when I unscramble them, are still in prearranged code, and I have to turn them over to cryptology. It's something like copying Jabberwocky 500 times by longhand. Well, there is something interesting here. Listen to this piece of tape.
I don't hear anything.
Well, that was it.
Oh?
Now, listen, there's another one coming up. That's it.
Well, I get that on my car radio, static.
Yes, but that's from the stars.
You mean radio interference?
That's right. I think you wrote about the work at Bell Telephone and RCA Labs about radio telescopy mapping the star positions by static.
You're interested in that?
Not exactly. They've never been able to figure out why the static on these particular bands comes in such jagged bursts. Just doesn't seem natural.
You have any ideas?
Oh, I don't know. I've been kicking around the notion that it's not a natural phenomenon. I've been trying to discard it, sort of like playing chess against yourself on the train in the morning. Well, that's about all there is.
That's all it was then. Joe Nathan swindling a few parts and a little government time to ride a hobby horse of his. I wrote up his job for the Sunday magazine section. It got squeezed out for an article by a famous actress on the 10 leading roles I disliked the most. So I forgot about it. Went back to announcing a miracle drug per week and conflicting theories of psychoanalysis. I don't know what I'd do without them. They're always good for a piece. I was at the office late one night. I didn't have any work, but I just didn't feel like going home and putting the kids to bed. Schwartz.
Mr. Schwartz?
That's right.
This is Joseph Nathan. Do you remember?
Yeah, sure. How are you?
Mr. Schwartz, can you come out to my lab?
You mean Riverhead?
Yes. I'd like to show you something.
Well, maybe we can make an appointment. As a matter of fact, I have to be out on Long Island next week.
No, I mean tonight.
Oh? What is it?
I think I've found something that you might be interested in.
Yes?
You know those static bursts I recorded?
The ones that came from the stars?
That's right. I've decoded them.
When you write science for the Times, you don't often go dashing off on the trail of scoops, as in TV versions of newspaper life. But it was about 11:45 as I drove out along the Montauk Highway, listening to Tex and Jinx on the radio to keep from piling up the car against a tree. Radio who keeps me awake. Nathan was waiting for me at the gate, and he had quite an argument to get me in past the MPs. We were challenged 4 times before we got to his lab.
I'm glad you came, Mr. Schwartz.
Oh, it's a nice night for a drive.
I know, but frankly, I wanted to ask you what I should do. You see, I requisitioned the supplies without authorization, and I don't know how to explain it to my division chief. I mean, it isn't as if I took any of the equipment home. It's all right here. But I've got to tell somebody. I just thought you might have some experience in how to handle a thing like this.
Like what?
Well, you remember that static recording I played you? Here, I got it set up.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I remember it vividly. Now, Mr. Nathan, it's very late, and this is far out on Long Island.
Now, you see, there's an old intelligence trick, speeding up on a recording till it sounds just like that, a short squawk of static, and then broadcasting it. Undergrounds use that when they don't want their transmitters located by triangulation. When you receive the broadcast, you slow it down and get your message.
Oh, no, wait a minute. You mean that you've decoded those static bursts from the stars?
Well, no, not exactly. I mean, they're not in code.
Hey, you think there's somebody out there broadcasting at us?
Well, no, it's not exactly that either.
Everything all right in here, Joe?
It's all right, Max. Mr. Schwartz has a clearance.
Okay, see you in the morning.
You see, if a star has planets, inhabited planets, and there was any broadcasting between them, they'd send it on a tight beam to save power.
Uh-huh.
It's the same method we used to aim radio beams at the satellite stations.
Uh-huh.
You don't lose power. But you couldn't aim from planet to planet. You can't expect a beam to stay on target over such distance more than a few seconds at a time. It'd be like trying to keep a flashlight on a bouncing ball from a mile away.
Yeah, I see.
So they naturally compress each message into a short half-second or half-length package and send it a few hundred times in one long blast to make sure it was picked up during the instant the beam swings across the target. You see?
Huh? Well, yeah, I suppose so. Was that what those static squawks were?
I think so. I've got them analyzed up to a point, and they can't possibly be random.
Oh?
I recorded a couple of screeches from Sagittarius section, and I concentrated the work on them. It's taken me a couple of months to find the synchronizing signals and set the scanners close enough to the right time to even get a pattern. But I'm getting close to it now.
Huh? You mean you've actually picked up messages from some form of alien life out there in the stars?
Yes. You see, and this raises a tremendous problem. How am I going to explain to the division chief why I made all those unauthorized parts requisitions?
I convinced Mr. Nathan that his supervisor was likely to overlook about $300 worth of electronic gear when presented with the fact that Nathan had discovered life in other star systems and was close to deciphering some of their messages. The department put him on full time and gave him an assistant. It made me swear to sit on the story by promising to give me the first break on it when it was finally released. So I kept checking with Nathan as he worked.
I don't think it's a voice message.
Well, what is it, a racing wire? Are we catching late scratches from some track at the edge of the galaxy?
I don't think so. It's a TV signal.
Oh?
There's a definite scanning pattern. I can separate out the locking poles for a picture.
Yeah?
The only problem is I've no way of assigning colors to the various bands.
Color? Well, what makes you think it's color?
Oh, it seems as if it's got to be.
You and RCA. This is the year color's here.
No, look at these waveform analyses.
Huh?
With a band spread that wide, it rather indicates a color transmission, don't you think?
Well, sure, why not? Let me know when you get the Steve Allen show. And then, of course, he did. Not the Steve Allen program, but the equivalent of it. He called me in about 4 months later. Had a monitor screen set up on a bare chassis with a wideband tape unit recording everything that came in.
Here, wait till I turn on the set. See, this is what I've been trying to figure out for at least a month. You see this picture?
Yeah, looks like a Scotch plaid.
Well, we finally assigned the colors so that they seem to give a rational picture. Wait a minute, I'll clear it up. There. Oh, there it is.
What is that?
That's the signal from the stars.
It's a picture. Some kind of distorted broadcast.
That's what I said. It's a broadcast, and it's coming from somewhere out past Sagittarius. Do you want to hear the audio signal?
That's their language?
That's right. We're sure about that. The colors were assigned arbitrarily, of course. You see that figure there, the tall one?
With the green skin?
Yes. That skin may be blue or pink or gray or anything. We don't know what their color response is. The only thing we're sure about is the various shadings of intensity and the audio channel.
What is it? What's it all about?
Well, we haven't decoded the language yet. There's a team from Harvard working on that. We record everything that comes in, but I think it's a lending library.
A what?
It's all fiction. It's plays. And there are dozens of them, all at the same time. I think they broadcast them continuously, and anybody who wants a particular play can tune it in. With the short burst method of transmission, they've got plenty of room in the spectrum.
A lending library?
Of course. As soon as we break the language barrier, we'll know for sure. Oh, by the way, I thought you might be interested. I've sent them back a message.
Look, Nathan, when are they going to release this? When can I use it?
I don't know. In the civil service, you don't ask questions
Now,
like
look,
that.
I'm a newspaper man. This is the hottest story.
I thought you were from the Times.
I know, but it's still a newspaper. What is the message you sent them? How do you do it?
Well, I took a print of a film.
Yeah?
As a matter of fact, it was Ponchielli's Dance of the Hours from the Disney film. You know, with the dancing hippopotamus and crocodile?
I think I remember it.
Well, I scanned it with the same combinations and sent it back along the same line we were receiving from. Just testing.
Huh. What do you think they'll make of dancing hippopotamuses and crocodiles out past Sagittarius?
Oh, I recorded a prologue, and I explained what it was. I thought it would please their library to get a new record in.
Look, Mr. Nathan, please, will you find out when they'll release this?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do have an idea. The project supervisor said there'd be big news when we get an answer back.
When?
Oh, at the rate of transmission, only about 3 or 4 years.
That's what it was. 3 or 4 years. I forgot about Nathan for most of the time in the interim. It was one of the few stories in which nothing leaked. I have a feeling if the Pentagon realized how much I knew about it, I never would have gotten out of the laboratory at Riverhead. And so this story seems a lot more direct than it actually was. An awful lot happened in the 4 years before Nathan called me again, landing on the moon for one. But when he did call me, he had big news.
Here. Now watch this. Watch.
Is that the recording of the message you sent out? I've seen that before.
No, it isn't. That's a message we've received. They're playing it back to us. Now, wait. You'll see. Now, look. You see? There's an auditorium. They've been showing our message on a screen. Look at them.
What are they doing? Waving their hands in circles?
Well, that might be applause. Oh. You can't tell, but that isn't the most important thing. Do you realize what the intensity of this message was? On an Omicron scale, 302.8.
Yes?
Now, you'll see what I mean. Now, watch. Their camera, or whatever they use, pans up from the audience. Look at that wall.
Hey, it looks like a ship's hold.
It is. It's a spaceship. That accounts for the intensity of the broadcast. We've picked up an alien spaceship, and they've gotten our message. They're approaching the solar system, and we'll be able to contact them.
Joe, I just don't care anymore. You've strung me along with this thing for 5 years, and it's no use to me. Absolutely no use.
Why, didn't I tell you? The Department of Defense is releasing the story to the press. You have it today, and there'll be a general release tomorrow.
And of course, you remember the story. We had it first. And any paper or TV broadcast that picked it up before the general release had to carry my byline and the Times copyright. I think it was the most important single newspaper beat that I've ever heard of. And of course, I did very well because of it. It was page 1 in the upper right-hand corner in the Times for 8 days running. And then the arrangements were made to cover the landing of the alien ship. The White House press secretary handled the whole thing. There'd be one pool man on the inside in direct contact with Nathan, the linguist teams, and the brass. Naturally, I got the pool assignment. There wasn't any question of it, really. But the rest of the boys were in on the releases, briefings, and press conferences. On arrival day, we were all schlepped out to the apron at White Sands Rocket Base. The concrete is graded to stand the thrust of those 3-stage giants that make the satellite and moon runs. But they'd added a layer of molybdenum mesh sprayed with some kind of plastistel on the theory that the stresses of an interstellar ship might crack White Sands rocket port like a pane of glass. The communications equipment was set up in the old red control blockhouse that hadn't been used since a whack corporal missile misfired in 58. First, they threw Nathan to the wolves in a press conference. The TV boys with ultra-portables were down on their knees in the first row, and the rest of us in the base movie theater. Nathan was up on the stage. Al Sullivan from the news led it off.
Mr. Nathan, what do you think of the aliens? Are they friendly? Do they look human?
Very human.
Exactly where will the alien ship land?
Well, that isn't exactly my field, but when you get out to the port, you'll see the strip. It's like a tic-tac-toe diagram. The release describes the precautions that have been taken, except for the grass strip along the runways. The light area has been remodeled.
Do you know anything about their home planet?
No, nothing directly.
You think they're dangerous, then?
No, I don't think so.
You realize, Mr. Nathan, that the 8th Atomic Artillery Battalion has been drawn up 5 miles north of the port, prepared for action.
Well, no, that's not my department. I don't know what precautions the military has taken.
But you think they're friendly?
Those I know are. I've been in contact with the radio operator of the ship. Bud says, I call him Bud, that he's worked up quite a thirst on this trip. Of course, we don't know what he drinks. We've no common chemical terminology. We haven't been able to exchange spectroscopic standards because we can't change the wavelengths accurately enough on the broadcast. We've arranged for you to see some of the recorded broadcasts we have made. When you watch them, I'd like you to realize that these are plays, all fictional. We haven't dubbed in a translation of the soundtracks, although since these were recorded, we've developed an automatic translator. You'll see that later. All right, I think we're ready for the showing. If somebody will please dim the house lights.
Of course, I'd seen the films before, but I stayed at the back of the hall to watch them again. The almost human forms, half dancing, the colors bright but strange. The sound was a flowing language with many shifts of pitch, and there was that strange, odd motion. Not slow, but somehow drifting. It had been bothering me for some time, the films. There was something in the way they walked. They were good actors. Even without knowing what was happening, you were interested. You could tell the hero from the villain sometimes, and you rooted for him. Finally, I went out to the lobby, and I found Nathan pacing up and down.
What's on now?
That recording that they returned with the Ponchielli?
It's funny, you know. They're crazy about Ponchielli and Mozart. Can't stand Gershwin. Strange.
Joe, there's something wrong with the films.
What do you mean?
Well, something wrong with the whole thing. It's a hunch. I felt that way with the vaccine for the common cold. Turned out to be a bust, huh? Now, there's something about the way they move.
Well, that bothers me, too. When I turn the tape faster, they're all rushing, and you begin to wonder why their clothes don't stream behind them, why the doors don't close quickly behind them, why things fall so fast. Well, we don't have to worry about it. We'll see them in about 2 hours when they land.
He seemed a little too cheerful. Joe Nathan wasn't like that. He was usually too serious, took things literally. But he seemed to be trying to convince himself that nothing could go wrong. It was as if he smelled a rat but held his nose and went right ahead. At minus 30 minutes, we all took our places in the blockhouse. They had a monitor set up with the automatic translator hooked up on the audio channel, so the alien operator looked as if he was talking English, but the lip movement didn't quite match, like a bad foreign film with English dialogue.
There he is. He's broadcasting. Throw in the translator unit.
We've decelerated enough to enter the atmosphere. We'll be landing in 3 time periods. Hey, Joe, what is it? A murky-looking planet you live on?
What do you mean by that?
He's kidding. I've been talking with him for a few weeks. He's got a sense of humor.
Well, what does he mean, murky? Can't be raining over much territory on Earth. It rained here this morning, but it's cleared up now.
There he is again. See the way he holds his mouth in an O?
Uh-huh.
That's their laugh.
Oh.
There, you can see his view screen behind him. He must be just entering the atmosphere. There goes the green light again.
What's that?
Oh, we're not getting this broadcast direct. That light means they've sent a concentrated squawk broadcast. We record it, slow it down, and then play it back here. Just a minute, and we'll get what he said. Here it comes.
Hey, Joe, it's dark. Your atmosphere is thick, really thick. You didn't tell me that. Approaching ground level.
I didn't hear any rocket jets. We should hear a landing blast, shouldn't we?
I don't know. Another message in.
We've landed. We're down.
Well, they can't be. They can't be. There's nothing out there.
Here he is again.
Listen, Joe, we're down. We're landed, but our detection field shows no buildings near. Nothing. The atmosphere registers thick as glue. There's tremendous gas pressure. Our hull won't take it too long. There's no light at all. Joe, you didn't describe it like this. What kind of a trick is this?
We've got a directional fix on the broadcast now.
Well, where is it?
There, on the field.
We're trying repair. We're adjusting a view screen to pick up the long waves to go through this murk. The engineer says there's something wrong with the steam jets. We're sending a help call to our nearest space base. Joe, get us out of here.
Well, where are they? Where are they? There's nothing out there. Nothing.
They'll have to triangulate the next broadcast again.
Joe, you've got to send a rescue party somehow. Listen, we've got a viewing screen rigged now. We're in the middle of a half circle of cliffs. Around the horizon, there is a wide, muddy lake with swimming, pulpy things attacking and eating each other on all sides. We're almost in the lake on the soft edge. And the mud can't hold the ship's weight, and we're sinking. The tubes are mud-clogged. When can you reach us?
They're out there, aren't they?
They're out there on that airport. On the empty field.
Where are you? We're sinking. Where are you?
I was wrong. The squawk transmission, by speeding it up for better efficiency, I was wrong.
What do you mean?
They don't speed up their broadcasts. They live that fast.
Over an hour of talk and action in one squawk? Nothing of any size could move that fast against inertia.
Joe, get us out. We're sinking. We're sinking into the mud, into the lake. The hull is buckling. Joe, get us out.
You can't, can you?
How? Get them out. There isn't a lake or a river within hundreds of miles from here.
The direction finders. The broadcast came from out there. From the concrete spaceport.
possibly at the edge of the runway where the grass is growing. After all, it rained this morning.
Do you think we could ever find them?
Maybe. With a strong enough magnifying glass.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Rattle OK by Harry Warner Jr., which demonstrates that a time machine could be very useful for handling a department store's complaints, provided you don't go too far to please a customer. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Pictures Don't Lie, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Catherine McLean and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Joe DeSantis as Schwartz, John Gibson as Nathan, Sam Gray as a newsman, and Dick Hamilton as the alien. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
One of the best, one of the most popular programs on radio. That's You Bet Your Life with Groucho Marx. And here's a reminder. Now Groucho can be heard on Saturdays. And he's on at a time when every member of the family, from Junior to Grandpa, can join in the laughter that goes with each question and answer session. A new day, a new hour, but the very same fun and good times that have made Groucho and You Bet Your Life so popular throughout the years. Have you ever met a hamburger king, or an earthworm farmer, or a famous beauty contest winner? Well, these are some of those who have appeared as Groucho's guests. Who will be his guests Saturday? Well, that's a secret. But you can bet your life they'll be full of fun and surprises. Have you ever heard Groucho sing his classic Captain Spaulding or throw a romantic line at a pretty girl contestant? You'll enjoy all of Groucho's unpredictable antics again this season, Saturday, the day for Groucho Marx and You Bet Your Life. Check your newspaper. Hear music by Ralph Flanagan and Skinny Ennis on Bandstand on NBC.
If I were you, I wouldn't believe a word of this story. I'm still not sure if Rosie does, and as a matter of fact, I'm not so sure if I do myself. And that's going some, because it happened to me. And if I can't believe it, well, who can? I suppose it could have happened to anybody, although, on the other hand, maybe it couldn't have happened to nobody. And that's pretty mixed up, so maybe I'd better begin at the beginning. And in this case, that's not so easy as it sounds. For one thing, there's the question of where is the beginning? Well, anyways, I'm Sam Yoder. I'm a telephone lineman for the Batesville and Rappahannock Telephone Company. I got into that line of work because I was in a wire platoon during the war. I've been up more trees in the Ardennes forest in Belgium than anybody, except maybe a couple of squirrels, and they didn't have to string telephone wires. I guess it started because Rosie, she was my girl, Rosie. She thought I lacked ambition.
And also get up and go.
Yeah, anytime you say, honey, except it's one of those jitterbug things, and I can't jitter much.
I don't mean dance. I mean stick-to-itiveness.
Now, honey, that's ridiculous. A telephone lineman has more stick-to-itiveness than anybody, or he'd fall right off the pole.
Huh?
Want another drink?
Sam, are you trying to get me drunk?
No. Well, only there's a $3.50 minimum in this place, and I hate to see it go to waste.
I'm discussing your future, Sam.
Okay.
Do you think a telephone lineman's life is right for you?
Well, has its ups and downs.
Sam.
I'm sorry.
I warned you. Once more, and I'm going to ask you to take me home, even with a $3.50 minimum unexpired.
Yeah, okay, honey.
Now, what are you doing to improve yourself?
Nothing, I guess.
Why don't you take one of those correspondence courses? You know, the ones with a picture of Arthur Godfrey, and he says, I was also in high school arithmetic till I sent in the coupon.
What does he need with high school arithmetic?
It's the principle of the thing. Sam, I'd hate to think I was engaged to a man who didn't improve himself.
Well, I'll figure something out.
You don't want to spend all your life with your arms around a pole.
Well, it was all right with George Sand.
Is he working at the company now?
No. George Sand. She was in...
She?
Yeah, sure, honey. It was a pen name. You see, she was in love with Chopin. You get it?
No.
Well, he was a pole, you see? Arms around a pole. You get it now?
Yes. Now I get it. Sam, take me home immediately.
She's like that. No sense of humor, know what I mean? But listen, when you climb up and down telephone poles all day, you get tired of something that's straight up and down. Rosie was a refreshing change. You know what I mean? Wow. But she had something. I mean, in the conversation. So I started taking those electronic courses, you know. I'd been at it a couple of months when I asked Rosie to come down to my basement.
I certainly will not.
Well, why not, baby?
Sam Yoder, I'm a respectable girl.
Honey, if I had anything else in mind, would I ask you to leave a nice, comfortable porch swing to go down to a whitewashed concrete basement?
I guess not.
Okay. Come on. I want you to see something.
What?
Now, that's a big surprise. Right here, over on the bench. Take a look.
Sam Yoder, have you been taking Papa's television set apart again?
No, honey, not...
Last time you got the channels mixed up and all Papa could get was Jane Mansfield. Mama had to finally take the fuse out and hide it.
It's not a television set. It's my invention.
Oh. What does it do?
Well, I got the idea at the shop. I was looking at the blueprints of the multiple circuit stuff. You know, how to send 100 messages over the same wire. Well, I got this idea about how to have private conversations on the party line. Actually, I got the idea calling you up with the whole street listening in.
Does it work?
Well, almost. I got a few bugs in this mess of garbage here.
Sam, that's no way to talk.
Well, honey, all the engineers talk that way, and they're college men with fraternity pins.
Well, then I guess it's all right. When will you have this fixed up?
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to tinker with it a little. It's just like you, honey.
Sam, you do not have to tinker with me.
Honey, I mean electrically like you. High voltage and a lot of current, but too much resistance. You get it, honey? I mean like an electrical circuit? Resistance.
I get it. Sam, take me home immediately.
I was thinking of my invention on next Friday, July 2nd, about 6 o'clock. I was up a pole near Bridges Run, hunting for a break where the party line went dead. I hooked in my linesman's phone, but I couldn't get central. I was just about to pull my phone and get down when... Hey, that's impossible. The line checked out dead. Hello, who's this?
Sam, this is you.
Huh? What's that?
This is you. You, Sam Yoder. Don't you recognize your own voice? This is you, Sam Yoder, calling from the 12th of July.
Look, Mac, I'm working and I'm 50 feet up.
Don't hang up.
I'm not hanging up, but you'd better. Now, wait a minute. Do I know you? The voice is familiar.
Sam, it's the 2nd of July where you are, and you're up a pole by Bridges Run. The line's dead in 2 places, or else I couldn't talk to you. Lucky, huh?
Whoever you are, it isn't going to be lucky for you.
But I'm you, and you're me. We're both the same Sam Yoder, only where I am, it's July 12th. Where you are, it's July 2nd. You've heard of time traveling? Well, this is time talking. You're talking to yourself. That's me. And I'm talking to myself. That's you. And it looks like we've got mighty good chances to get rich.
Look, I don't believe this.
All right, then listen. Do you remember the time you were out with Rosie at the drive-in movie over at the Wing? And the couple in the convertible next to you were naked. And then Rosie...
Well, never mind what he said. It was something only me and Rosie would know about. nobody else in the whole world, so I knew he was me. I was him. We were the same. He told me what he wanted me to do, and then he told me where the brakes were in the line and hung up. Well, I cut loose down the pole, and my irons only hit it twice from the top to the bottom. I was sweating and shaking a little, and it didn't help any when I found the two brakes right where the voice said it would be. But that wasn't any more impossible than anything else. I called into Central and told them I was sick, which wasn't particularly untrue anyway. And then I went home and made myself a cup of coffee, and pretty soon I was muttering to myself, which I don't say now in order to make telling the story easy. But I do it all the time. It's like this. You got a good cup of coffee here, Sam, old boy. Instant, but strong. Oh. Now, there isn't any weak-mindedness in my family, and the company psychologist said I grew up stable. Was it inner stable? Well, anyway. Nobody but Rosie knows I told her nose is so cute I couldn't believe she ever had to blow it. Maybe it was me talking to myself. Don't let Sam. Don't mind if I do. I talk to myself just sitting over coffee. Why shouldn't I talk to myself on the telephone? From the middle of next week. On a dead line. I wonder if that psychologist was right. More coffee, Sam? Just a little to hot it up. When? Now, look, if somebody drove over to Rappahannock past Dunsville and telephoned back that there was a brush fire at Dunsville, I wouldn't be surprised to get to Dunsville and find a brush fire there. So, if somebody phones back from next Tuesday that Mr. Broadus has broke his leg next Tuesday, why should I be surprised to get to next Tuesday and find out he'd done it? More coffee, Sam? No, thanks. I couldn't touch another drop. See what I mean? Pretty soon I began to realize there was money in this thing, and I got to work on my invention, the one I meant to use for private calls on party lines. I got out the soldering iron and a bunch of components I liberated from the phone company, and I started to rearrange the circuits the way that voice on the telephone had told me to. It was a real breadboard job with wires hanging out of it like spaghetti, but finally I was done. I spliced my gadget onto my phone, then I broke the line to Central, rang it, and half a minute later... Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Sam. This is you in the 2nd of July.
You got it all fixed up, huh?
Yeah, it looks awful.
Well, that's okay. You can straighten it out later. Okay, Sam, now we get rich together.
Look, Sam, I want to ask you a few things about this gadget. Now, you know where those 4 transistors are hooked up bridging the...
Look, Sam, you mind if we don't go into that right now?
Yeah, but I want to know if I reverse the leads, will I...
Some other time.
Well, if you're too busy to talk...
I'll tell you. I am kind of busy right now. You'll understand when you get to where I am.
Look, I worked 6 hours on that thing because you said to it.
Don't get mad, Sam. I'll tell you what. You go see Rosie and tell her about this and have a nice evening. Ha-ha.
What do you mean, ha-ha?
You'll find out. Knowing what I know, I'll even double it. Ha-ha, ha-ha.
I went over to Rosie's house. Her old man was watching Diana Dors on the television, and her mother was watching her old man, so I took Rosie by the hand and led her out onto the porch. I could see the moon glinting off eyeglasses as all the neighbor ladies leaned forward in their porch rockers to watch us. I always felt a responsibility to those ladies, and usually I try to make it worthwhile to them staying up so far past their bedtimes. But tonight, I had other things on my mind.
Sam, you didn't slick down your cowlick. I've told you, if you go on a date without slicking down your cowlick, it shows you have no respect for the girl.
Rosie, forget my cowlick. Huh?
I could go inside and get some mustache wax. Pa keeps it because his crew cut always goes limp when the humidity gets above 60%.
Rosie, will you listen to me? I've made up my mind to get rich. You ought to have everything your little heart desires. Now, suppose you tell me just what you want.
I want your cowlick to lie down so I won't be ashamed in front of the neighbors.
No, honey. Mink, chinchilla, a sports car, anything, whatever you want.
Do you feel all right?
Now, listen, honey. Nobody knows it, but tonight Joe Hunt and the widow Backus are eloping to North Carolina to get married. We'll find out about it tomorrow. And day after tomorrow, on the 4th of July, Dunsville is going to win the baseball game with Bravensburg, 7-5, all tied till the 9th inning, and then George Peavy is going to hit a homer with Fred Holmes on second base. There was a brief silence interrupted only by the sound of Pa's rocker going over as he tried to get a better angle on Diana Dawes. I don't know how many times I've explained to him you can't improve on the view on a two-dimensional TV screen by craning your neck. But he says you can't overcome a lifetime of habit. Well, anyways, I explained to Rosie about Sam in the week after next telling me all these things and how we were going to get rich.
Sam, somebody was playing a joke on you.
Oh, yeah? Well, who else but me knows what you said that time you thought I was mad at you and you were crying down behind McHenry's ice house?
Sam, I told you when I read those words on that board fence I didn't know what they meant.
And nobody else knows about the time we were picnicking and the bug got down the front of your sunback dress and you thought it was a hornet.
Sam Yoder, you never told anybody about that.
No, but the me in the week after next knew. He told me, so he had to be talking to me. It couldn't be anybody else.
Sam, either you've told somebody else everything we ever said or did, or else there's somebody else who knows. That's awful.
But, honey, it's me.
This other person knows everything we say, even now?
Sure.
Sam Yoder, you go home.
But, honey...
Do you think I'm going to talk to you when somebody else listens to every word I say and knows everything I do? Do you think I'm going to marry you?
But, Rosie, it's just between the two of us. You, me, and me next week. Rosie. I stayed around till her father came out and asked me to go home so Rosie could finish crying and he could watch Hell's Angels on the Late Show in peace. On the way back to my house, I got madder and madder. Sam, in the week after next, could have warned me about this, the louse. Well, I plugged in my gadget and rang, but I guess there was nobody home on July 12th because there wasn't any answer. And there wasn't any that night when I got home from work either. So I went around to see Rosie.
The only reason I'm talking to you, Sam Yoder, is that Pa's inside sneering at Dorothy Kilgallen on What's My Line, and I don't think it's polite.
You still mad at me?
I never was mad at you. I'm mad at whoever was talking to you on the phone and knows all our private secrets. And I'm mad at you if you told him.
Well, honey, I didn't have to tell him. He's me. All he has to do is just remember. I tried to call him again last night and this morning, but he doesn't answer. Maybe he's gone off somewhere.
Do you think it's polite to sneer at Dorothy Kilgallen? She knows so many important people by their first names, lots of them even for short.
You think maybe it's all an illusion?
You told me last night there'd be an elopement, and there was. Joe Hunt and the widow Backus, just like you said.
Well, could have been a coincidence.
I'm waiting to see if Dunsville beats Bravensburg 7-5 tomorrow.
Yeah, I bet $11 on it.
If that happens, I'll die.
Why, honey?
Because it'll mean that I can't marry you, ever. Because somebody else would be looking over your shoulder, and we would never be by ourselves all our lives, day or night.
The next day in the big 4th of July ball game, it was tied in the ninth. Then George Peavy hit a homer with Fred Holmes on second base, and Dunsville beat Bravensburg 7-5. I collected my bet, but the $11 turned to ashes in my mouth. I didn't go over to Rosie's that night. I stayed home and kept trying to call myself up on that gadget that I told myself how to fix up. It was a moonlit night, the kind I usually spend with Rosie while her old man watches the $1 Million movie for the 7th time on TV, hoping that the ending will come out different. But there I was in the basement trying to call up the week after next, and nobody home. In the morning, I woke up suddenly. I thought it was the alarm clock, but it wasn't. I left the gadget on. Oh, wait, don't go away. Wait. Hello?
Don't get upset, Sam. Rosie's going to make up with you.
How do you know what she's going to do? She won't marry me with you hanging around. I've been trying to figure out a way to get rid of you.
Quiet. I'm busy. I got to go collect the money you made for us.
You collect money? I get in trouble and you collect money?
I have to, or you wouldn't get it. Now, listen, where you are, it's Wednesday. You're going over to Dunsville today to fix some phones.
You'll be in Mr. Broadus' law office about 10:30. Now, you look out of the window and notice a fella sitting in a car in front of the bank. Notice him good.
I won't do it. I won't take orders from you. Maybe you're me, but I make a bet and you collect it. For all I know, you spend it before I get to it. Now, I'm quitting this business right now. It's cost me my girl and my peace of mind and to blazes with it.
Okay? Okay, Sam. Just wait and see. The trouble with a story like this when you tell it is there isn't any suspense, like one of those old movies where a gypsy fortune teller tells George Raft he's going to be head gangster and fall in love and finally gets shot by his best friend, played by Ralph Bellamy. And then the rest of the picture just goes like a local commuter train following a schedule. Well, sure enough, I was ordered over to Dunsville to fix the phones in Mr. Broadus' office. Well, at 10:30, I happened to look out of the window, and there, sitting in a car with the motor running, was a reddish-haired man. Then suddenly 2 other men come running out of the bank carrying bags. Mr. Harrison, the guard, is shooting at them. And they're shooting back. And the car takes off like a big bird and shoots out of town. And Fred Hale comes tearing after him in the squad car right down Olympia Street. Unfortunately, Mrs. Monroe was turning left into the supermarket parking lot. She happened to be coming from the far right lane. And so the bank robbers got away clean with $35,000. They'd cut all the wires out of town where they crossed Goose Creek, and so they sent me right out to fix it. I was up the pole right next to the creek working and, like usual, talking to myself. Sam, do you realize what that was? A bank robbery. You, in the middle of next week, told you to come over here and watch a bank robbery, but you didn't tell yourself what for. You didn't tell yourself to stop it. Sam, that other you is a born crook. Then I realized it wasn't another me. It was me a week and a half later. If he was a born crook, so was I. Nothing could happen in a week and a half to change character like that. I couldn't even turn myself into the cops, because nobody would believe it. I suddenly realized I was an accessory before and after the fact of that bank robbery. And then I realized there was only one thing to do. That night I drove over to Rosie's house. Her father had a jacket and tie on because he was expecting to visit Her Supreme Highness Princess Grace of Monaco and Slapsy Maxie Rosenblum with Ed Morrow face to face. I took Rosie out to the porch just as the princess invited Ed and Rosie's old man into a closet to see her shoes.
Sam, what's the matter? You look awful.
I am awful. Rosie, I come to tell you goodbye. I just found out I'm a criminal, so I better go and commit my crimes far away from hearth and friends who would be hurt.
Sam, what's happened now?
That bank robbery. I knew all about it before it happened. I called myself up and told myself, but I didn't let myself stop it. Don't you see? I'm an accessory both ways against the middle. I'm a criminal. So, Rosie, goodbye.
Sam, you sit right down.
Oh, it's in the blood, I guess, or the genes. What do you think in my case it was? Environment rather than heredity.
Now, Sam, you haven't done anything yet. It's that other you.
But I'm going to have done something. I'm doomed to be a criminal.
Well, I'm going to reform you.
What?
I'm going to reform you before you start. I'm going to stay with you from now on, every place you go.
But, Rosie, I climb poles.
I'll wear my tapered slacks. You won't do anything criminal with me along. And if that other you starts talking to you on the telephone, I'm going to climb the pole and tell him where he gets off.
And that's just what she did. Wherever I went, Rosie went right along with me, carrying a 10-inch crescent wrench in case of emergencies, wearing her tapered slacks, which looked real good because, as a matter of fact, the slacks taper just a little more than Rosie does. Well, she made me stay over in her brother who was away in the Marines' room and locked me in at night. It went on that way for a couple of days. Rosie looking grim all day, not even holding hands or playing footy in the diner over coffee. We spent the evenings in her living room while her father watched Meet the Press and asked Nixon and Kefauver questions that they never even answered. I complained to Rosie that we had all the disadvantages of being married a long time without the obvious advantages.
But her father told me to keep quiet and stop interrupting Steve Allen. Well, finally, on the 11th of July, we were driving in the phone company truck that Rosie was driving to make sure I didn't commit anything criminal like crossing the double white line or not stopping for a school bus.
Do you realize tomorrow is the 12th?
Yeah.
That's the day the other you called you up from, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I've kept you honest. If you turn into a hoodlum between now and tomorrow...
Rosie, look out, that car! Now, look what you did.
Is the other man hurt? He's getting out of the car.
Rosie, that here. Rosie, that's the man who... Get down, he's shooting at us.
Why?
Well, he's the man I saw outside the bank. He's one of the bank robbers. Look out, he's coming this way.
He looks awful mad.
Why not? We smashed his getaway car. Rosie, get behind me. I'll protect you. The fella came up to us holding his gun and looking pretty upset. And he was just about to say something when Rosie reached over my shoulder and hit him on the head with her crescent wrench. I took a length of wire and my pliers, and I had his hand spliced behind his back before he came to. We threw him in the back of the truck and took him into the sheriff at Dunsville. He confessed right away and told where his buddies were hiding out. Rosie locked me up in her brother's room again that night, and then it all came clear to me. In the morning, Rosie came out on the truck with me again, and she was still trying to reform me. I let her come along, but inside I was grinning.
What are you sneering about, Sam?
I'm not sneering, I'm grinning. Rosie, do you realize there's a $5,000 reward for those robbers, and we get it?
Well, I'm still worried about that other you.
Oh. Well, we'll take care of that right now.
Sam, what are you doing?
Now, just a minute, honey. I gotta climb that pole.
Sam, what are you doing up there?
Well, I gotta make a call, honey. Hook up my little gadget. Now.
Hello, who's this?
Sam, this is you.
Huh? What's that?
This is you. You, Sam Yoder. Don't you recognize your own voice? This is you, Sam Yoder, calling from the 12th of July.
Look, Mac, I'm working and I'm 50 feet up.
Don't hang up. You see? It was me all the time. Here it was in the 12th of July, and I was talking to myself back in the 2nd of July, and it was the same conversation word for word.
Oh, Sam, then it was you all the time.
Back in the 2nd of July, he's cussing me out just the way I did. And he'll fix this gadget up the way I just told him.
Then we still have our secrets.
Oh, sure, honey. I'll remember when I call me up tonight 10 days ago, I'm going to be very busy. And I won't want to waste time talking to myself a week and a half ago. Now, Rosie, what do you suppose I'll be doing tonight that would make me not want to waste time talking to myself 10 days ago? Rosie?
Oh, Sam, we'll have all tonight to ourselves. There's a big spectacular in compatible color with Esther Williams, and Pa will spend the whole night twisting the dials trying to get the color right. He'll be furious.
But you said it's black and white.
That's why he'll be furious.
Well, how do you like the nerve of me calling me up and interrupting me at a time like that? Well, it won't take long, honey. I haven't got too much to say to myself this time. Well, that's the way it went. Rosie and I got married. Like I say, I wouldn't believe this story if I was you. Of course, what with horse races and things like that, we're doing pretty well, but that could just be good luck. But folks around this part of the country don't want to bet with me. I am the only one in the country who won a bet that Don Larson would pitch a perfect no-hit, no-run game in the World Series. You see, I had a little advance information.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. which this month features Of All Possible Worlds by William Tenn. A story which demonstrates that changing the world is simple. The trick is to do it before you have a chance to undo it. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Sam, This Is You, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Murray Leinster and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Larry Haynes as Sam and Pat Hosley as Rosie. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
For eerie tales that set the scene for witches' flights this Halloween, hear Sleep No More tonight.
For many days, the Gregory yacht has been held captive in the slip between two of the piers on the strange Isle of Euclidia, the Magic Island. The rescue boat sailed from Los Angeles with Johnson in command and was prepared to aid in rescuing Mrs. Gregory and her party from the island. However, radio messages between this boat and the Gregory yacht were intercepted, and Johnson's boat captured and towed to the island by a Euclidean submarine. Johnson was not aboard, however, and now he is bound back to Los Angeles to prepare another rescue expedition. Jerry and Joan are getting some mysterious instructions from Captain Bradford in the radio cabin on the yacht.
We'll do it exactly like you tell it, Tex, won't we, Joan?
Certainly. You may depend on Jerry and me to carry out your instructions, Captain. Even if there were some little danger connected with it, it would still be better for Jerry and myself to attempt it, as Captain Bradford would excite more suspicion trying to gain admittance to the laboratory.
I suppose you're right, dear, but it all seems so wild and terrible.
Now, don't worry, Mrs. Gregory. Joan and I'll bring home the bacon.
I know you will, kid. You and Joan can do the work of any two men I ever worked with. Now, listen. This thing isn't going to be difficult if you'll do exactly as I say.
Yes, Captain.
You and Jerry go over on the island. Start poking around in the corners and act curious. Don't get anyone too angry at you. But try to get yourselves taken to G47's laboratory if you don't get invited there.
Well, Joan knows all the places where we can bump into somebody who will take us to G47, so the old guy will bawl us out. Then we ought to be able to figure a way to stay in the laboratory and watch them finish working out the formula they got from Mac.
But if you are in the laboratory when the formula is completed, you will be in danger from the gas.
Not if they do as I tell them. Now, here is a lot of cotton soaked in a solution I made for the purpose. You can carry more than enough for both of you in your pocket, Jerry, and it'll stay wet enough for an hour or more. Now, if you're in the laboratory, when the gas floods the place, stick some of that cotton in your noses. Hold your mouths tight shut. Breathe a little through your noses if you have to. Be sure to fall with the others and act as they do. Then when they're all asleep, get out fast and close the door. Call the other Euclideans and tell them something has happened in the laboratory. Then you get back here to this boat.
Won't the gas affect their eyes, Tex?
Not in the slightest. Its only possible effect is in the lungs. The solution on the cotton will absorb all you could breathe of it for 3 minutes. 1 minute will give you more time than you need. That's all.
Oh, Joan, my dear, I'm so afraid for you.
There is nothing to fear. We will follow the captain's instructions.
Well, come on. Let's get going.
Good luck, kids.
Now where? You lead the way, Joan. You ought to know all the places where we can get into trouble on this funny island.
I will take you to several places where we should be stopped and taken before G47 to explain our conduct.
Here we go again. I start to get the jitters every time I walk on the stone without making any noise.
We may get many of those jitters, as you call them, before this little task of ours is completed.
Oh, you think it's going to be tough, huh?
Tough?
I mean, we're going to have a hard time putting it over?
Precisely.
Now, what did I tell you about that precisely thing?
I will not say it again, Jerry, if you do not like it.
You know, Joan, you're about the swellest girl a fella ever had.
I like that, Jerry. I think you are a nice and clever boy.
That's what I like about you. You could see what a swell fellow I was right away.
Yes, Jerry, you make it very plain.
Yeah, huh? Oh, yeah. You mean it sticks out all over me. Well, you ain't so bad yourself.
Jerry, how often must I tell you that ain't is not correct?
I know all about it. Now let my manners and English alone and do something to help the plot along. Where can we get into trouble?
Right here, if you do not speak more quietly. Remember that the guard in the central control chamber is hearing all you say.
Yeah, that's right.
Then... Oh, Jerry, the elevator housing is rising out of the island. Someone is coming up.
Let's just stall along over to it. We might pick up some news along there.
I do not understand that stall. How is it possible to stall along? Is not a stall a small partition?
Yeah. A stall is where they keep horses in English, but it means to go slow in slang. Hey, look who's coming out of the elevator.
Why, Jerry, it is Commander S1.
Nobody else. My girlfriend from the submarine.
But, Jerry, you said...
Now, don't start to cry. I know I called her my girlfriend, but it don't mean a thing. She's coming this way.
I think it would be well to use care in addressing the commander.
Okay, I'll watch my step.
It is indeed an unexpected pleasure to meet you, my dear Cleostra. And as usual, you are, of course, searching for trouble.
How did you know that?
Your indiscreet companion attracts trouble as a magnet does metal.
Okay, Commander, have it your way.
What is this? No sparkling retort from you, Hall?
I've got nothing to say.
That is likely. But under ordinary conditions, you would be saying it.
Saying what?
Nothing.
Oh.
You will pardon me, Commander, but Jerry and I would like to look around on some of the lower levels of the island. Would you care to accompany us?
Hey, Joan, wait a minute.
Quiet, Jerry. I have asked the commander to accompany us if it is agreeable to her.
Well, maybe you know what you're doing. Go to it.
I will be quite willing to accompany you. I am free at the time, and it is highly possible I may be able to prevent your getting into trouble.
Yeah, that's just what I was afraid of.
Jerry!
Your remark confirms my suspicions, Hall. I shall accompany you. We will use the private submarine elevator. Follow me.
Now, look here, Joan. If this comes out wrong, it's your fault.
I feel as you say, Jerry. I have a bunch, and when
Hey, that's a hunch, not a bunch.
Of course, Jerry. Then I have a hunch.
Well, golly whiskers. So you've got a hunch. And you can use slang without choking on it. That's good enough for me.
You will enter?
Oh, hurry, Jerry.
Okay. In we go. Oh, this floor doesn't make any noise.
You must not pay any attention to Jerry, Commander. He is always looking for things which make noise.
Yeah, this island's too quiet for me.
I will take you where you may make a great deal of noise if you so desire. We will leave this car at the 5th floor.
That's where the main chemical laboratory is, isn't it?
Jerry.
Yes, the laboratory is there, as is this car. You may step out, Hall. And you, Cleostra?
Boy, that was service. 5 floors in about that many seconds and without a sound. Now where?
Follow me.
I know where we are going, I think, Jerry.
Where?
To the sound channel.
To the what?
Cleostra is correct. You wanted to make and hear noise? This chamber will give you ample opportunity.
What kind of a place is this? A special room for noise?
Precisely. We will enter here. Exercise caution in your voice and movements. The din will be terrific if you are careless.
There's more things on this island that do... Hey, listen to my voice. Gee, it sounds funny and loud, too.
I warned you to speak quietly.
This is the sound channel, Jerry, where all sounds are tested for their vibrations and penetrating qualities.
Here, for example, is a length of the Euclidean cloth with which you have lined your cabin. Put it over your head. Wrap it tightly around your throat. Then speak.
Hey, if this is a gag, I'll...
Try it, Jerry. I have done it before.
Okay. Well, how did it sound?
We could not understand your speech. The sound was barely audible.
Yes, Jerry. At a distance of a few feet, even that slight sound would not have been heard.
Well, I like it better this way. How am I doing?
Oh, Jerry, please. That makes such an awful noise.
This is the kind of a place I like, where you can hear all that's going on.
It is the only place on the island where nothing can be heard from without.
Jerry, the commander is right.
You mean this racket can't be heard out in the elevators or anywhere?
Precisely.
Then I can have all the fun I want to. Say it. Joan, that gives me an idea.
I had hoped it would.
You had, huh?
The commander is waiting for you to speak, Jerry.
On the level, Commander. Nothing we say can be heard in any other place on the island? Not by their instruments or anything?
That has been definitely established.
And you brought us to this room on purpose. You did it to give us a chance to talk.
Exactly.
Swell. But, well, what if G47 finds out you brought us here? Won't that cause you a lot of trouble?
It would be very serious for the commander, Jerry.
But you brought us here anyhow. Well, Commander, I'm going to tell you something.
I might suggest that you hurry your remarks.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. Okay, here it is. G47 has a formula he thinks is an important one of Captain Bradford's.
The universal solvent?
You knew that?
Sure she knew. I guess everybody on the island knows G47's after that formula.
Correct. Proceed.
Well, this formula they've got is not the solvent, but it is a real formula. And when they put the last ingredient into it and get the solution exactly right, it will kind of blow up. And the room will be filled with a gas that will put everybody in the room to sleep for hours.
And your plan is?
Well, Joan and I want to be in that laboratory when the gas fills the room. Then when the Euclideans are all laid out, we'll run out and report to the other Euclideans. They'll rush in the room, and the gas will get them. It'll stay active in the big room for 24 hours.
And then?
Then we will notify Captain Bradford and Mother on the yacht. And our party will take over the command of the island, and everything will be... Oh, Jerry, we've made a mistake. The commander...
Hey, look here, Commander. You're on our side, aren't you? Commander. The Commander. What makes you look so funny? Joan, this thing's going wrong. Don't let her out that door.
Silence. You two young fools need have no fear of me. I was merely thinking if I could plan your safety in that gas-filled room.
Hey, Joan, listen to that.
Yes, Jerry. Oh, you are wonderful, Commander.
Time will tell.
Well, don't worry about the gas for us. We've got some cotton soaked in a secret solution to stick in our noses so the gas won't hurt us.
Very well. I will take you to the laboratory at once. I will explain your presence by saying I found you spying in the outer chamber. Then I will remain with you as if to guard you. And when the gas has done its work, you may bring the captain to take over the control of Euclidia.
Oh, boy, that's swell. Here's some of the cotton. Stick it in your nose now and shove it up the nostril far enough so it won't be seen.
Prepare yourselves. I will not need the cotton.
But, Commander, you said that you would be in the room with us.
I shall.
Then the gas will put you to sleep. It might even hurt you. And, well, I'm not sure.
That is of no moment. You are in the right. The Euclideans are wrong. I can serve you best by posing as a loyal Euclidean, even to the point of allowing the gas to overcome me.
Down in the secret chambers of the magic Isle of Euclidia, an important experiment is underway. G47 has a formula which he believes to be Captain Bradford's universal solvent, and all of the Euclidean scientists are gathered in the main chemical laboratory to see the formula completed, while down inside the island, on the same level with the laboratory, Jerry and Joan are completing their plans, with the help of the Euclidean submarine commander, who has been won over to the aid of the Gregory party. They are in the sound channel, the only really noisy room on the island.
Well, I guess we might as well go in the laboratory and get it over with.
Do you not think it is time to start now, Commander?
It would not be advisable to arrive at the laboratory prematurely. If it is possible to plan it so, I think it best that you arrive just before the formula reaches completion. Then the scientists will be so deeply interested in watching the compounding of it that they will ignore your presence.
But they will have to know of our presence, will they not?
Sure, Joan. How about it, Commander?
We have agreed that I will take you into the laboratory as my prisoners, whom I have found spying in the secret chambers. Right?
Yeah, go ahead.
If I arrive with you two just before the experiment is complete, G47 will merely order us to stand at one side and wait the result. He will be too deeply engrossed in his work to do otherwise.
That is right, Commander. But what if we arrive too early?
G47 would then have time to question me as to your activities in these chambers, and would undoubtedly send me to deliver you as prisoners to the confinement chambers. Then you would be helpless, and the experiment would be finished without your knowledge.
You're right, Commander. But how can we tell when to go in there? Captain Bradford said they might get the formula finished any time from a few minutes to an hour.
I will go now to the laboratory, ascertain the degree of progress on the experiment, and return for you.
Boy, that's swell.
We will all be very grateful to you, Commander.
Do not let your gratitude carry you away at this early date. Many things stand between this little plan and the overthrow of Euclidia. Remain in this room. Speak to no one. I will return in a few hundred seconds.
Jiminy crickets, Joan. The island must be falling to pieces. What a racket that was.
It was just the closing of the door as the commander went out.
But when we came in, that door didn't make a sound.
But that is not the door we came in through, Jerry. We entered through one of the noiseless doors. This one is an ordinary steel door that has not been treated with the noiseless paint.
Boy, this is sure some place. Let's look it over while we're waiting for the commander.
You must walk gently on many parts of this floor.
Why? Will I fall through?
Certainly not. But the noise will be so terrific you will give yourself a headache.
Well, I can stand a little noise for once. Come on. We'll walk around in here. Hey, I can't hear a sound from this floor.
If you will observe the color of the floor, you will see that the particular strip upon which we now move has been treated with the noiseless paint, while the next section, that strip running parallel to this one, is just the raw metal. Step gently onto it if you wish.
Okay, here goes. Golly whiskers, what a place. I guess I don't need the noise as bad as I thought I did. That's better.
You see, Jerry, wonderful things have been done on Euclidia.
I'll say they have. Look at that workbench and the bunch of tools they've got there. Would it be all right if I looked at them?
I see no reason why you should not. But be very careful to return each tool to its proper place.
Oh, I'll watch it. These hammers look just like regular ones.
Some of them are. You will notice that some of the hammers are painted with a red coloring matter. Those are noiseless. The gray metal ones are ordinary hammers.
And some of those nails are colored, too. Are they noiseless?
Yes, Jerry. You may use that piece of discarded wood on the floor. Drive the various nails into it if it will furnish you with any amusement.
Oh, I know. You think I've got to have something to play with all the time. Well, don't forget, this is all new to me. And when I get you back to the world, I'll show you a few things that'll, well, you'll want to stay and play with all day, too.
I understand that, Jerry. I merely wanted you to know that I appreciated your interest in these things.
You do all right in politics, Joan. Well, here goes. I'm going to drive a regular nail into this board with a regular hammer. Jumping, gee whiz. Did it make all that noise when I laid that little stick on that workbench?
Yes, Jerry. That portion of the bench and the piece of wood you chose have been made deliberately more resonant.
Giggling goldfish. Where's a quiet place on here and a quiet piece of wood?
Place that dark wood on the red-colored section of the bench.
Okay. There it is. Hey, not a sound.
Now, if you take one of the colored nails and a noiseless hammer, you may drive the nail in that wood with very little sound.
Well, I'll try it. It's a good trick even if it doesn't work. Gee whiz. That big spike went right through that board without making a bit of noise.
I think you would enjoy the noiseless saw also.
Huh? Noiseless saw?
Yes, Jerry. It is over here in the corner. Come right here beside me and you will be able to operate it.
Hey, your voice. Mine, too. They've lost that funny sound.
This corner of the room is soundproof, Jerry. Now, there is the saw. You start the motor so...
That motor doesn't make a sound. Now, can I run a board through that saw?
You may.
This colored piece is one of the noiseless ones, huh?
That is right.
Well, here goes, then. Well, what do you think of that? The saw just eats its way right through that heavy board without a bit of noise. I'll bet Captain Bradford would like to get his hands on that formula.
Formula? Jerry, that reminds me the commander should be back by this time.
Oh, yeah. I hope she didn't get herself into any trouble trying to help us.
I think the commander would be too clever for that. But she is also too clever for you and me, Jerry.
What do you mean?
She could deceive us very easily and be telling G-47 all of the captain's plans.
You don't really think she'd do that, do you?
We learn our lessons well on Euclidia, Jerry. It is a school of fear, and one not easily broken away from.
But you got away from it easy enough. Just as soon as you heard your mother and the rest of us talking about, a few of the things in our world, you figured out that this isle wasn't so hot after all.
That is true, Jerry, but I have my mother. She will take me to her beautiful home in California. The commander has no reason to leave here.
Well, suppose she does give us away. We couldn't be any worse off than we are now. All prisoners on this island with no chance of getting away until Johnson goes to Los Angeles and comes back. And G-47's got a good chance to fix it so he won't ever come back. What's the difference, Joan? We're sunk anyhow. We might as well put up a fight for it.
I like you when you speak like that, Jerry. You are a brave, loyal boy. I think you are very fine.
Oh, kind of waking up, aren't you? You'll appreciate me someday.
Oh, here is the commander, Jerry. We must go to meet her.
She's got about as much expression on her face as a wooden Indian. You can't tell whether she's got good news or bad.
The time has come for us to repair to the laboratory. The experiment is nearing completion.
Oh, that's swell, Commander. Does G47 know we're around here?
Your presence in the lower levels has naturally been reported, but fortunately, I have been sent to find you.
When do we go?
Immediately. First, let me give you a few brief instructions.
Of course, Commander.
Shoot?
Under no conditions.
Huh?
You must not even display a weapon.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commander. I didn't really mean to shoot. That means go ahead with your story.
I must have a translation of your complete vocabulary at another time. Now we will enter the laboratory and remain just within the door. Even if our presence is observed, we will probably be ignored. However, should G47 have time to question us, remain silent. I will explain how I found you and brought you to the chambers.
I think that is a splendid plan. Do you not, Jerry?
Well, let's get going.
Precisely. Follow me. You will follow me?
But what are you going to do with us?
That will be decided by G47. I will take you to him at once.
But we were not doing anything harmful, Commander. I was merely showing the sound channel to Jerry.
The extent of your misdemeanor will be decided by G47.
I see you have them with you, Commander.
I was ordered to take them before G47. Will you accompany me? This young fool Hall may become obstinate. He has more courage than brains.
I will accompany you. G47 made it quite plain that this boy and girl were not to be harmed. So you would find your ray gun useless. I can use force if necessary. G47 will question them immediately upon our arrival.
Hey, look here, you two. We haven't done anything wrong.
That is correct. Jerry and I were simply looking at the strange devices in the sound channel.
Nevertheless, you are on the lower levels without permission. Is that not so?
Well, yeah, that's right.
Then you must explain to G47. Silence. We enter the laboratory.
Gee, I thought the laboratory would be another of those silent rooms.
It is not silent for the benefit of many experiments which deal with sound. Normal hearing is indispensable.
Should I report our presence to G47?
It is not necessary. We are observed.
G47 is coming toward us now, Jerry. Say nothing to make him angry.
Then I can't say anything. That guy hates me for saying good morning.
Excellent work, Commander. You have brought them just in time. The work on the captain's formula is within seconds of completion.
I will take them to the confinement cells if you wish it.
No. I want them here. Bradford is a very clever man. It is entirely possible that he may have planned a little surprise for us at the completion of the formula. It will be well to have two of his friends near me at that time.
What do you mean, G47?
If anything unpleasant were to happen, it might lessen the captain's enjoyment to know that you too, young fools, had received a portion of the treatment.
You are wanted at the table, G47.
Yes. Come with me, you two. Over here, quickly.
Is that the stuff there?
Precisely. It has reached the boiling point. The process should be complete any second.
I'm sleepy, Jerry.
Joe.
Sometimes it's fun to try to pitch yourself against a puzzle. Try considering tonight's story as a puzzle. It's a story about a monster. That's a familiar theme in science fiction and fantasy. But tonight's story deals with an impossible monster. See if you understand enough of the relationship of living things to figure out why this monster is impossible. When men go out into space, sooner or later in their explorations, they're going to meet somewhere on some world. Something that's mighty darn dangerous. And the real danger is that it might be brought home unknowingly. That's a kind of unpleasant thought at times. I wonder how deadly, how disastrous a thing might be brought home.
It's past 10. Marge, when is this brother of yours getting here? Midnight?
Oh, Dave, don't start getting upset about it. Send him to night. Don't forget it's 5 years since he was last on Earth.
5 years or no 5 years. The ship landed 7:30. It doesn't take 3 hours to get here from the spaceport.
Well, maybe there's some routine he had to go through before he could leave the customs. I understand there's a comprehensive medical examination for all returning from outer space.
That's all we need. Some weird disease he picked up on Alpha Centauri 5.
No, they wouldn't let him near civilians if he had any such disease.
Well, all I can say is that if he doesn't show his face here by 11, I'm going to go upstairs and go to bed. I need my sleep.
Oh, there he is now, Dave. Oh, I knew he'd be here on time. That'd be nice to him, Dave. He is my brother, after all, and I haven't seen him since 89.
Okay, I'll be polite. I'll go let him in. Hello there. Come on, right on in. My name is Dave Sporley.
Thanks. I appreciate this, Dave.
Oh, Ted. Oh, Ted.
Hello, sis. Well, stand back and let me look at you. This is a big girl now, isn't she?
Well, I'm almost 24. I married Dave 3 years ago.
Well, you haven't changed much in 5 years. Same red hair, that dimple, freckles on your nose.
Was there much red tape before you could leave customs?
Just a medical exam. They gave me a quick look to make sure I wasn't carrying the plague. I was cleared through around 8:15.
Oh, you must have stopped off for a little nip before coming here then, huh?
No, I came straight here from the spaceport.
Oh, but it only takes half an hour by rocket tube.
No one said anything to me about a rocket tube. I took the subway.
The subway? Oh, really? Now the subway all the way out here? No wonder it took you so long.
Say, the rocket tube's only been in operation for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
That's why Ted didn't use it.
Yeah.
He didn't know it existed.
The world changes more than you think in 5 years. The new model autos that drive themselves, 3D video, the robots. Those things were all new when I last was on Earth. Now they're commonplace to everyone except me.
Come on into the living room. You'll probably want to rest up. I'll give you a drink, put a little music on.
And you can tell us all about your 5 years in space.
Ah, red enough. You miss him out in space.
Hey, can I dial you a drink?
Scotch, thanks. I'll take it neat.
Same old Ted. Still likes the same music and still drinks the same kind of drink.
It's only been 5 years. I haven't been away forever.
Can you tell us where you've been? Or is that classified?
Well, some of it is. But I covered a lot of ground. You ought to see the night sky on Deneb 9, Marge. 500 little moons up there like whirling knives in the darkness. And the 17th planet of the Vega system, 2 billion miles from its sun, and yet there's that great blazing light in the sky, so bright that we had to wear special eye lenses.
Join the Space Force and see the galaxy. It's really true, then.
Gee, it's good of both of you to offer to put me up while I'm on ground leave. No treat to be in a world where you have no friends and only one living relative.
Oh, don't mention it, Ted. How long did you say that you were staying?
3 weeks. That's all right with you.
And then you go back to space for another 5 years?
That's right. Survey trip this time. Around the galactic rim.
How exciting that must be.
Just his job, after all, Marge.
Well, but how much more exciting it must be to be a spaceman than a newspaperman.
You a newspaperman, Dave?
I work for one of the system-wide news services.
That's a job that keeps humming all the time. We spacemen spend 3/4 of our time drifting through nowhere between planets, playing solitaire, watching old films, and thinking about Earth.
Yes, but when the waiting's over, when you finally reach another sun and walk on alien soil.
Yes, then it becomes worthwhile. Well, you must excuse me. I've had a busy day. Aboard ship and then getting out here.
Of course. If you'd like me to show you up to the room, why...
I appreciate that. Gee, this house is so full of new gadgets that I hardly know what anything does. Now, this thing over here...
Watch out, don't!
Mine's all right, Barn.
Look, that was the water disposal unit. Anything you put in there gets converted into energy.
Oh, but look, I put my arm back in time, see?
Yeah, but we heard the sound. When you activate the unit, it crackles like that.
And I saw your hand in there after the wrist test.
You're both imagining things. All I did was toss a piece of candy in to see what would happen. My hand didn't come anywhere near it.
But I saw your hand go in, Ted. And the disposal field crackled. And yet your hand's all right. I don't understand it.
I tell you, my hand didn't come anywhere near it, Marge.
Dave, would you show me to my room? I'm pretty worn out.
I saw his hand go in. I saw it.
Living organism, anywhere, is to be able to meet its environment, to survive, to handle the situations it encounters, handle them at least well enough to maintain its own existence as a species. It's not so obvious that you can overdo that, but you know you can.
He's all moved in upstairs to the guest room. Seems pleased with the layout. Well, suppose we turn in now. It's past 11, isn't it?
Dave, I'm worried.
About what? That business about the disposal unit? Oh, it must have been our imagination.
No, I saw him clearly put his hand into that field. But when he took it out again, his hand was whole. And there are other things.
Like what?
He's different somehow, Dave.
Different? Well, sure he's different. 5 years.
No, it's not just the 5 years. His voice isn't quite the same anymore. Something weird about the way he speaks now. And his eyes, they have a far-away look. Which was never like that before. Dave, he's changed. And I'm afraid of him now.
You're afraid of your own brother?
I'm afraid that he isn't my own brother anymore.
Oh,
Dave, I don't know what I'm saying, I guess, but... Well, I do feel strange about his being upstairs. As if something dangerous had entered our house.
What should I do about it? Go upstairs and ask him if he's a monster in disguise? Well, Marge, he's your brother, and you invited him here.
No, but I'm worried.
And what am I supposed to do about it? It really, believe me, it's all in your imagination.
Dave, didn't you see him stick his hand into that disposal?
No, I didn't.
But you said... Dave, you're just making that up. You saw it as clear as I did.
What do you want me to do? Do you want me to go upstairs and ask him to leave? He can spend his furlough in some hotel.
No, of course we can't do that.
Well, then leave me alone.
But would you do one thing for me?
What is it?
Go upstairs to his room. He probably isn't asleep yet, but maybe he's getting undressed. And try to get a look at him. My brother had a scar on his chest about 5 inches long, starting from his left collarbone and running down diagonally. He got it when we were kids. And see if the man upstairs has that scar, too.
No, Marge. You said that he liked the same drinks and the same music he always did. So why...
You go upstairs and look. You could tell him you just stopped in to see if he was comfortable.
This is ridiculous, Marge. Spying on your own brother to see if he's a thing from outer space.
I'll feel happier if you go up. Oh, won't you, Dave?
All right. If it'll stop you from worrying, I'll go see if he's awake. I saw your light was still on, Ted, so I figured I'd stop in.
Why do you enter my room without knocking?
Wait. Your face is...
My face is different?
What? You look like me now. My face, that is, not yours.
I'm simply practicing.
Practicing?
Oh, don't go away. Come here, Dave.
What are you?
I'm your brother-in-law, Dave.
What's your face? And your hand?
Didn't Marge tell you that I had such abilities?
No, of course not.
I guess she didn't know. I couldn't do things like this before I visited Altair 6 2 years ago. Altair has a very interesting form of native life. At the moment, nobody knows of the existence of this life form but me. It's a mimic.
Mimic?
When a spaceman known as Ted Kennedy was exploring Altair 6 2 years ago, he wandered off alone to look for wildlife. There was a big brown stone in his way. He kicked it. But the stone clung to his boot. It wasn't a stone, you see. It was a mimic.
I don't know what you're talking about. Get out of my way and let me out of this room. You must be out of your mind.
Ted Kennedy never knew what happened to him. Within 10 seconds, the mimic had absorbed him, swallowed him up. Flesh, brain, memories and all. When the mimic had fed, it realized what a lucky find it had made.
A spaceman who will be going back to Earth someday. The mimic can divide itself infinitely. It left part of itself there in its old disguise of a stone. The rest of it went back to the spaceship disguised as Ted Kennedy.
Marge said you were different, that something had happened to you.
I have all of Ted Kennedy's memories. As far as anyone can tell, I am Ted Kennedy. Right down to the last molecule. And my crew members who were all absorbed by the mimic and who are on leave now.
Oh, a whole shipload is spreading all over the Earth.
Exactly. Come here, then.
No, don't me.
Don't try to resist. Just take seconds.
Boy!
Just a moment more. Then it'll be over. There. Finished. Wonder how they'd make out, they and their progeny. My, they sure could live high, couldn't they?
Ted, you were gone a long time. I was getting worried.
He wasn't undressed yet. I had to wait to see the scar.
Oh, he had it then, did he?
Of course. Big purple slash across his chest when he got cut. Time he tried to climb that picket fence.
You mean he told you how he got that scar then?
What? Oh, yeah. He told me all about it, how you and he were stealing apples years ago and how the farmer came to chase you. He jumped over the fence, but he cut himself going over, and you were stuck in the orchard because you couldn't get over the fence.
And he told you that?
Yes.
He never told anyone that story. He was so ashamed that he left his kid sister behind and tried to get away. And he made me swear that I'd never tell anyone about it.
Well, he told me.
I guess 5 years does change a man. Oh. Well, it's almost midnight now. You'll be dead in the morning if you don't get some sleep, Dave. Come on, let's turn in.
For just a minute, Marge.
Dave, why are you looking at me that way?
Here.
I am here.
No, closer. Let me hold you in my arms.
Oh, why so lovey-dovey here in the living room, Dave? Dave, you look so strange.
Let me hold you.
Dave, your eyes, you look different. What's wrong with you? What happened to you upstairs? What's going on in the house?
Let me hold you, Marge.
Let go of me. You're holding me too tight, Dave.
Just a moment, Marge, and then you'll be one of us.
Dave, what are you doing to me? Dave, I don't understand. You're hurting me.
Only a moment more before absorption, then you'll be part of it, like you and me and Ted, and soon the whole world.
Dave, no!
Marge. That's all there is to it, see? A few moments while our organism absorbs yours, and then the split, and the new Marge falling in peace.
It's odd. I remember everything I did as Marge, clear and sharp. Only now I'm you too, Dave. And Ted. And all the members of Ted's ship crew.
And soon, everyone in the world, all merged into us.
I see it's all over. I waited until you had converted it.
Yeah, we better sleep now, build up our energy, and every time tomorrow we get someone alone...
We convert him into us.
Simple. Quick. All this food waiting for us on this planet. Billions of human beings. All ours. Answer it.
Why, it's Mr. Adams from next door.
Hello there, Mr. Spaulding. I know it's late at night, and I hope I'm not intruding, but I was just coming home from the movies, and as I passed by outside, it sort of seemed to me that I heard screams coming from in here.
Yes, that's right. It was my wife screaming.
Mrs. Spaulding? But you seem so calm. I mean, well, I guess everything's under control.
Yes, everything is under control.
Yes, well, if that's the case, I guess I'll be going on along home then. I'm sorry to have bothered you. I just thought maybe you might be needing some help.
We appreciate that very much, Mr. Adams. Won't you step in for a moment?
Well, it's quite late, and as you say, everything's under control.
All the same, if you'd come inside.
Yes, do come in. I'll fix you a little nightcap.
Well, just for a moment. I've always believed in being neighborly. I guess I'll come in if you're nice enough to ask me.
We're glad to have you, Mr. Adams. There, don't stand and haw. Come in. Close the door.
Well, it's nice of you to ask me in, Mrs. Pawnee. Yes, sir. It's right nice of you to invite me in.
Tigers on that island with 1 million sheep. They'd starve to death, of course. They'd eat all the sheep. Then there'd be nothing to eat but tigers. They aren't good eating, I understand, even for a tiger. What do you think would happen to a monster on any planet, which is just an island in space, that became so successful that nothing could fight it? It had starved to death, of course. That's an impossible kind of monster. There never could be such a monster as is discussed in this story.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman!
Look! Up in the sky!
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman! Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, then steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. When Perry White's super stratoplane was in danger of disaster with its controls mysteriously jammed, Superman flew to its rescue from Washington and found a strange flute jammed into the controls. Kent believes the flute is the clue to the mystery surrounding the disappearance of 3 expeditions to South America. However, John Ives, Kent's superior, disagrees and dismisses Kent. But later that night, Ives learns the astounding fact that the flute is a real Inca relic and that the vanished civilization of the Incas may still exist. Realizing he has made a blunder, Ives tries desperately to locate Kent.
Hello, operator. Operator! Oh, operator. Get me Captain Watson, Washington Police. And hurry, I'll hold on. Oh, why did I ever let him get out of my sight? Hello, Watson. This is John Ives. Now listen, a man named Clark Kent has just left the Hemisphere Administration Building. I want him picked up. No, he can't be far away. He's a reporter, over 6 feet, wears glasses, he had a gray suit on, dark hair. Huh? Oh, I don't remember the color of his eyes. Get going, Watson, and don't fail me. It's a matter of life and death.
Calling car 622. Proceed to Washington Airport. Cover all outgoing flights for Clark Kent. Calling car 623. Cover Route 19. Search every car for Clark Kent. Car 627. Cover Route 4. Same instruction. Car 628. Continue searching vicinity of Hemisphere Administration Building.
Hey, open up. Open up, I said. Who's in there? Open up or I'll call the police. Say, what's the big eye? Oh, Mr. Kent.
Oh, Jim.
What are you doing back in Metropolis?
Well, it's a long story. I came back last night and locked myself in his office to study some maps.
Oh, gosh. They've been trying to locate you since 6 o'clock last night.
Oh?
I thought maybe it was because of the Japanese war. I thought maybe they wanted you to go to Honolulu or the Philippines.
Now, wait a minute. What do you mean they've been looking for me? Who's they?
Oh, a man named Ives called here a dozen times.
What?
He said if we heard from you, to tell you to return to Washington at once. Said it was a matter of life and death. What's wrong, Mr. Kent?
Well, nothing's wrong, Jimmy. I'll just have to get back to Washington.
Gosh, I was beginning to get worried.
No, nothing to worry about.
Well, with this war and everything, I didn't know what to think. Mr. Kent.
Yes, Jimmy?
What about Lois and Mr. White? Are they safe down in South America?
I think so.
Gosh, everything's so mixed up. There's no chance of our losing this war, is there, Mr. Kent?
Jimmy, America's never lost a war. We don't approve of fighting, but there's a limit to our patience. Those Japanese traitors fired the first shot, but I can promise you America will fire the last.
You won't get mad if I tell you something, will you, Mr. Kent?
What is it, Jim?
Well, I tried to enlist in the Navy yesterday.
Jimmy.
I knew I didn't have a chance, but
Jimmy, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, but what good does it do? They told me to go home and grow up. See, that's the trouble. I want to do something to help out, but I'm too young. I'm only 14.
Well, I'll tell you how you can help. You know, it takes a lot of money to support an army and a navy, Jim. Billions and billions of dollars. The United States needs every penny it can lay its hands on.
I know what you're going to say, but I've already done that. I was saving up for a bicycle, but I took the money out of the bank yesterday. $19.50 and bought defense savings stamps.
Good boy.
My mother bought 2 defense savings bonds.
Well, then you are helping.
Oh, but it's not enough, Mr. Kent. I'd like to really go out there and fight. You've got something to fight for.
You certainly have, Jimmy. But everyone can't be on the front line. America needs men behind the guns, and you can be one of them. Now, I've got to get back to Washington immediately, but I want you to get all your friends together, every fellow and girl who would like to help fight part of the battle for freedom. You get them to buy defense savings stamps and tell them to ask their mothers and dads to buy defense savings bonds. And you can call your organization the Junior Defense League of America.
Gee, that's a swell name. Junior Defense League of America. I'll do it, Mr. Kent.
Good.
I'll get Jackie Kelk and Buzz Manners and Tiny Reed, and I'll get them all.
Attaboy. I'll call you from Washington tomorrow, and you can tell me how things are going. And now I'd like to study these maps before I leave.
Oh, okay. I won't bother you.
Okay.
So long, Mr. Kent, and thanks for the swell idea.
So long, Jimmy. I'll be seeing you soon. Well, this country doesn't have to worry, not when we've got boys like Jimmy growing up. Well, I've got to get going. Something must have happened to change the complexion of things in Washington. If Ives needs me, it must be important. Well, guess this window's the best way out. Won't take long to get there. As Superman. Up, up, and away!
John Ives speaking.
Ken is out here to see you.
Mr. Kent, send him in, send him in. Kent, man, where in the name of heaven have you been?
Sorry if I caused any trouble, Mr. Ives.
Oh, forget it. Here, that's what counts. Sit down, sit down. Well, this certainly takes a load off my mind. I was going mad, Kent, simply mad. Well, it's all over. I want to apologize for my hastiness.
Oh.
It was wrong, horribly wrong.
That's quite all right.
No, I never should have acted that way, but I was nervous and unstrung. See, Kent, you were right. That flute you brought in was authentic, a genuine Inca Indian flute.
You mean that, Mr. Ives?
Yes, Dr. Colson called a moment after you left. Since then, he's checked and double-checked. It's genuine, all right.
Well, that means the Inca civilization, thought to have been wiped out, still exists. It means that somewhere in the Andes Mountains dwells a race of people that have been lost for centuries.
Oh, why do you say that?
I'll tell you why. That flute, Mr. Ives, was found jammed into the control cables of a private plane bound for the Andes Mountains to search for the lost American engineers.
Huh?
And it was placed there by an Inca Indian to wreck that plane.
Kent, this is all amazing, fantastic. Why?
Yes, but no more fantastic than the possibility that the Inca race still exists. As a matter of fact, I'm convinced the Incas were responsible for the disappearance of those engineers who went to South America to build the Pan-American Highway.
Well, Kent, what do you suggest?
That I leave for South America immediately, provided the war hasn't made that impossible.
Impossible, of course not. Kent, you go, and good luck to you. I'll see that you have an Army plane and a pilot.
Well, I won't need the pilot. I hold a transport license.
Well, you
myself.
must have a co-pilot. Air Corps regulations.
Oh.
I'll arrange for the plane immediately and send Lieutenant Elliott with you.
All
He's
right.
one of the best men we have here in the service. Operator? Hello, operator. Oh, yeah. Connect me with Colonel Howe at the government airfield. I'll hold on. Kent, I'm putting a lot of faith in you. More than I ever put in any man.
Well, sir, I'll try to live up to it. Oh, while you're getting the airfield, I'll call my paper. There are some maps I left behind.
All right, of course. You use the phone in the next office.
Oh, thank you.
Colonel Howe, please. Yes, this is John Eyes of Hemisphere Administration. No, I must speak to him. Anyway. Yes.
Hello, Metropolis 4200. That's right. Hello, Daily Planet? Clark Kent calling from Washington. Connect me with Jimmy Olsen, will you please? Please. Hello, Jimmy. This is Mr. Kent. Yes, now listen carefully, Jim. I left some maps on the desk in that empty office. That's right. But I'll get them and take the first transport plane to Washington and deliver the maps to Lieutenant Elliott's plane at the government airfield. I'll make arrangements for you to get through the gate. Now, do you have it straight? Get the maps on the desk in that empty office and take the first plane for Washington.
Kent, this is Lieutenant Elliott. Elliott? Clark Kent.
How do you do? Glad to know you, Lieutenant. Are you all set?
Well, there's the ship warming up.
Oh, I almost forgot. Did a young man deliver some maps to you?
Yes, about 20 minutes ago. They're in the plane.
Oh, good. Well, where did the young man go?
I didn't notice. I assume he left.
Oh, not even waiting to say goodbye to me? I'll fix him when I get back. All right, Lieutenant, if you're ready, I am.
Well, goodbye, Ken.
Goodbye, sir.
And Godspeed.
Thanks, Mr. Ives. I'll be in touch with you by radio.
I'll climb in, Mr. Kent.
Okay. So long.
So long. Everybody, please.
That's an amazing story, Mr. Kent. I mean about those Inca Indians.
Yes.
It's enough to give you the creeps. But they couldn't possibly sabotage this plane. Not at the government airport. Things are too closely watched. I should be spotting the Fort Dennis beacon soon. Trouble is, I can't see much. Ice on the windshield.
Have you any glycerin? That'll clear it.
Yeah, it's back in the tail compartment.
Oh, I'll get it.
No, you'll never find it. Here, take the controls. Keep her on the beam at 12,000.
Okay.
I'll get the glycerin.
She handles like a dream.
Yeah, sweet ship. That glycerin should be in here someplace. I know I had... Hey.
What's the matter?
Hey. Hand me that automatic in the holster under the dashboard.
Why?
Quick.
What's the trouble?
Quick, give it to me.
Here.
There's somebody hiding in that tail compartment.
Is Lieutenant Elliott right? Is there someone lurking in the tail of the Army plane as it roars through the sky at 300 miles an hour? Don't miss the next thrilling episode. Things are beginning to happen and happen fast, so tune in and listen with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. Clark Kent, on his way to South America in an Army plane piloted by Lieutenant Elliott, had high hopes of finding some trace of the 3 expeditions of American engineers lost in the Andes Mountains. It's Kent's theory that the vanished nation of the Inca Indians still exists in the mountain fastness, that the engineers sent to survey a Pan-American highway to link North and South America are in their clutches. At 12,000 feet, ice forms on the plane's windshield.
Letting Ken take the controls, Lieutenant Elliot opens the tail compartment to get some glycerin, only to step back horrified. Reaching for an automatic pistol, he levels it at the opening.
Kent, there's someone in that compartment. What? I saw two eyes staring at me out of the darkness.
Sure, Elliot?
Positive. Don't worry, I'll get whoever it is with this gun. You stay at the controls.
You'd better let me handle it, Elliot. You take the ship.
No, I'll get him. You just sit tight. Okay, here goes.
Hey, wait a minute.
Elliot, don't shoot.
What? Who is it?
Come out of there.
Okay, I'm coming.
What? Why, it's the kid who brought your maps.
That's right, Jimmy Olsen, Daily Planet copy boy.
Hello, Mr. Kent.
Take the controls, Elliot.
Nice night, isn't it, Mr. Kent?
Yes, now look here, Jimmy. What you did is unforgivable. You know that you came close to being shot?
I'm sorry, Mr. Kent. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. I knew it wasn't right to stow away, but... Gee, when you asked me to bring those maps to Washington, I figured you were going to South America. Well, you and I have made a lot of trips together.
I know, Jimmy, I know, and we've had a lot of fun. But I'm on government business now. Well, frankly, you'll tie me down.
Oh, no, I won't, Mr. Kent. Honest, I won't. I can take care of myself.
I know, Jimmy, but there's no telling what kind of trouble may be waiting in those mountains. After all, 3 expeditions have disappeared in the very region we're headed for. Well, I'm afraid we'll just have to turn around and take you back.
We'll lose a lot of time.
I know, Elliot, but he's got to go back.
Well, if you don't want me, Mr. Kent, maybe I could be of some use to Lois and Mr. White. Kind of run errands and things like that.
Run errands in the Andes Mountains?
Oh, sure. I even brought along my sneakers.
Oh, that's going to be a big help.
We could take him to San Diego, Kent, and then ship him back on a passenger plane.
No, I wouldn't let him come back alone. All right, Jimmy. Looks like you win again.
You mean I can go down with you all the way?
I suppose so.
Oh, hot diggity, old boy. South America.
Now, just a minute, young man. Let's get one thing straight. If you ever do anything like this again, we're quits, do you understand?
Yes, sir, Mr. Kent, I promise. Are you mad at me?
No, I'm not mad. I hope you come out of this all right. What's the first stop, Elliot?
We'll refuel across the border. About 400 miles due south.
The miles rush by like seconds. New Mexico, Texas, the Rio Grande, and the slim silver shadow of the plane threads its way southward through the night. But what of Perry White and Lois Lane? Deep in the Andes, Bronson, pilot of the steel stratoplane, has brought it to rest on a long plateau facing Tupungato, the huge, terrifying mountain into which the American engineers have vanished. Heavy, thick clouds swirl around the mountaintop, and a dense mist rises out of the valleys as Editor White helps Lois out of the plane.
Well, it's a lucky thing we found this plateau. It's practically like a runway at Mitchell Field. Well, come on, Lois. I'll give you a hand. That's it. Now, jump. There.
Thanks. Well, so that's it. Mighty Tupungato. Certainly is big, all right.
Yeah, big and nasty. Look at those clouds. You can't even see the peak. Now, Bronson. Bronson. Coming, Mr. White. I was checking the instruments. Well, what do you think, Bronson? Shall we try going over the mountain? Not with all those clouds.
I thought the plane could get up much higher than that mountain. You said it was only 20,000 feet, Mr. White.
That isn't the point, Lois. It's the clouds Mr. Bronson spoke about. We couldn't see a thing through all those clouds up there. Well, what do you suggest, Bronson? There isn't much we can do but wait. Make clear by morning. Yeah, but I got an idea. We might send up a few rocket flares. It's almost dark enough now. Rocket flares? Why? Who's lost, we or they? Well, if those engineers are trapped up there, they'll know somebody's looking for them. Maybe they'll even signal back. If I were lost in these mountains, I'd like to know that somebody was looking for me.
I think he's right, Mr. White. If they are lost, the rockets might help them find their way down.
All right. Go ahead if you want to play around with rockets. Seems pretty foolish to me. I'll get them there in the emergency kit. Pretty silly. Anybody would think that we're in distress.
Nobody's going to think anything of the kind because nobody's here to see it. Unless it's those engineers. And a sign of civilization ought to be a mighty cheerful little Eiffel to them. How would you like to be up there now, completely lost?
Now, don't let your imagination run away with you, Lois. You promised to be level-headed. That's the only reason I took you along. Remember that. Here are the rockets. We'll send up 2 of them.
How do they work?
Well, pretty much like 4th of July rockets, except these have ignition caps on them. I'll set them in the ground here. There. And point them up towards the mountain peak. Dark enough now. Here goes.
I certainly ought to see that. It looks like a falling star going backwards.
Here goes the second one. There. Those magnesium flares can be seen 100 miles away. You mean if these mountains weren't in the way? Well, now that you're all through having your fun, how about some food?
Fine, Listen. Listen, it's that flute-like sound again. Mr. White, listen.
Quiet, Lois, quiet. Keep your head. It's coming closer. What can it be? I don't know. It's eerie.
Mr. White, I'm frightened. What is it?
Easy, Lois, easy.
Have been asleep.
Certainly were, Jimmy. 8 solid hours.
Gosh, it's light out. Boy, look at those green forests. What are they, Lieutenant Elliott?
They're jungles, Jimmy.
We're flying over Costa Rica.
Costa Rica? Costa Rica? Oh, where's that, Mr. Kent?
Didn't you study geography, Jimmy?
Sure. I guess the page on Costa Rica was torn out of my book.
Oh, I see. Well, it's in the southern part of Central America. We'll be sighting the Panama Canal soon.
No kidding. Gee, that's wonderful. I always wanted to see the Panama Canal. What's that blue water over there?
The Pacific Ocean.
Oceans must be pretty close together down here.
They are. That's why American engineers built the canal through Panama. Oh, there it is, Jimmy. That thin silver thread.
Oh, isn't that a city down there?
That's right. It's called Calan. Cristobal is on the other end of the canal.
Cristobal and Calan. They're funny names. Do they mean anything?
Sure, they're old Spanish for Christopher Columbus. Cristobal Calan.
Gee, you make history sound interesting, Mr. Kent.
Yeah, history is interesting, Jimmy. And that region down there is chock full of exciting things.
Boy, look at those jungles.
That's nothing, Jimmy. Wait until you see the jungles of the Amazon. Hundreds and hundreds of miles of dense undergrowth. Far as the eye.
Leaving Panama behind, the Silver Bird speeds on, over Venezuela, Colombia, over the matted jungles of the Amazon. And then the mighty chain of the Andes Mountains looms ahead, vast, overpowering, stone giants whose heads tower above the clouds, silent as only stone can be, mysterious, magnificent.
Golly, I never thought mountains could be so big. Where are we now, Mr. Kent?
Nearing Peru, Jimmy. Just another 1,000 miles to go.
1,000 miles? All over mountains?
Yeah, I guess so, Jimmy. These Andes stretch along the whole western coastline of South America.
Gee, it's kind of scary. Imagine being lost down there. Nobody would ever find you, not in a million years.
Now, do you still want to come with us? Into those mountains?
Who, me? Oh, sure. Are the mountains as big where we're going?
Oh, yes. These are only foothills. 11 or 12,000 feet high. Wait until we get to Peru. Some of those peaks are over 20,000 feet. Those are mountains.
Gosh, they must be.
It's getting a little cool, Jimmy. You'd better put on one of the sheepskins. I don't want you catching a cold.
Okay. Well, where is one, Lieutenant Elliott?
In the tail compartment, where you stowed away.
Well, it's too dark to see anything in there.
Well, there's a porthole. If you pull back the lever near the door, the shield on the porthole slides back. That'll give you enough light.
All right. Like it's far in here. I can't see a thing.
Pull the lever. Oh, no, wait a minute, Jimmy. Hold everything.
Oh, I found all that.
Jimmy, no!
What's the matter?
Jimmy, what happened? He pulled the lever to the emergency drop hatch. What? Kent, where are you going? Kent, don't, it's too late. You can't help. Kent, stay away from that open hatch. Kent! Gone. Both gone. Oh, this is horrible.
But unknown to Elliot, Superman is plummeting to Earth at the speed of a bullet, smashing through space. Below him, the sharp, jagged peaks of the Andes loom like so many giant bayonets. What fate awaits Jimmy? Will Superman reach him in time to save the boy from being dashed on the Rocky Mountain peaks? Tune in again and follow this exciting South American adventure with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Wheat cereal invite you to rocket into the future with Stand by to raise ship. Blast off -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with A sliver of light on the eastern horizon throws a soft glow on the long, sleek shape of the rocket patrol cruiser Polaris as it stands at its launching berth on the Space Academy ground. Inside the gleaming spaceship, the 3 cadet members of its crew, Tom, Corbett, Roger Manning, and Astro, are going through the routine of a pre-blast-off check.
This is dial 4 amperage check, Astro.
Check, Tom.
As I was saying, hold it, Manning. Something's coming through the news facsimile receiver.
It's just a news bulletin.
Listen to this. Central government hints at new clues in the mysterious disappearance of special cargo ship.
New clues? Space gas.
Now look, Roger.
Oh, don't mind Roger. Tom, go ahead.
It has been less than a week since the space freighter Elsie Joe disappeared near the sun, loaded with an invaluable cargo of nearly pure vanadium. Already large quantities of the precious alloy have appeared in the black market on Earth.
Is that what they call a new clue? I could have told
you. Hold it a minute.
Sources close to the central government now believe that the cargo freighter was hijacked, and an immediate investigation will be launched to establish the identity of the hijackers.
Now, I ask you, what kind of double talk is that? You've read the whole bulletin, we still don't know any more than when you started.
Nobody expects you to know anything, Bubblehead.
I wonder if they really have any leads.
I can answer that for you, gentlemen.
Captain Strong.
Right, men. I see you've been reading the facsimile bulletin.
Yes, sir. They claim there's some fresh evidence on that hijacking job.
Yeah, there is. I just came from a briefing in Commander Arkwright's office where we were told that a small, privately owned rocket ship has been reported ferrying the vanadium in from a hiding place somewhere near the sun.
Well, sir, are they sure it's the same vanadium that was on the freighter?
Well, it has to be, Tom. They've checked the vanadium mining operation on Io, and the only quantity of the stuff that's unaccounted for is the load that disappeared under our noses. I still don't see how they pulled off that job.
It's pretty clear to me. Captain Lamar was in with those hijackers. That's why he picked that crazy course and took a ship so close to the sun.
Very good, Manning. That's the way Central Intelligence figures it. Of course, we'll never know for sure unless we catch them.
Well, what are our orders, sir? Is the Polaris going to try to track down that private ship?
Right, Tom. Have you men completed your checkup?
Yes, sir.
Good. Then prepare to blast off. We'll raise ship in 10 minutes. What have you got, Manning? Spaceship, sir. Third quadrant. Position 2150. Solar Guard or merchant? Neither, sir. It looks like the one we're after. Well, patch it down here. I want to see the scanner. Aye, sir. You've got it.
Here, sir. It's in focus now.
Yes. That's our baby, all right. Call them, Tom. Tell them to prepare for boarders.
Yes, sir. Polaris calling. Identify yourself and stand by for a boarding party. Spacecraft in position 2150. Identify yourself and stand by for an inspection party. Oh, they're not answering, sir.
Manning, alter course to intercept them. Aye, sir. Control deck to power deck. Stand by, Astro. We may need auxiliary power for maneuvering. Standing by, sir.
Captain Strong, they're making a lateral sweep.
and firing auxiliary rockets.
Astro, give me full space speed. Manning, keep the fix on them. We can overtake them.
Oh, no, sir, we can't. They're pulling away.
Oh, it's impossible. We're at top speed.
Just the same, sir, they're getting away. She's too fast for us. We can't overhaul her.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Spaceman, suppose you were blasting off on a long trip to the outer planets. Well, you'd be mighty sure to check your ship over thoroughly. You'd make sure you had enough rocket fuel to get you there and back again. And you'd check your supplies, too, to make sure that you have the right kind of food on board to help keep you strong and healthy. Now listen to what Tom Corbett says about that.
Before each trip, our food locker on the Polaris is well stocked with Kellogg's Pep, Spaceman. And you can bet it's just about empty by the time we get back. Kellogg's Pep helps to keep the whole crew supplied with the vitamins and food values everybody needs to build up strength and to keep up strength. So if you want to stay in trim, the way the Space Cadets do, take a tip from me. Start your day the spaceman's way with a heaping bowl full of Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
And, Spaceman, wait till you taste the malty, rich wheat flavor of Kellogg's Pep. Why, you say the best-tasting cereal in the whole wide universe is Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
While on patrol duty in space, the rocket cruiser Polaris attempts to intercept an unidentified spaceship suspected of carrying vanadium that has bbeen hijacked from a government freighter. But to the utter surprise and chagrin of the Polaris crew, the renegade craft easily outdistances them and disappears.
It's no use, Captain Strong. She's so fast we can't even get a fix on her anymore.
It's incredible. I never saw anything like the way that ship pulled away from us.
It was those auxiliary rockets she carries that did it. That must be the fastest spaceship in the universe.
You're not just blowing your jets, Roger. That ship can really move.
Tom, get out a general CQ to all patrol ships. Tell them to be on the lookout for that craft.
Aye, sir. Polaris to all patrol ships. Polaris to all patrol ships. Watch for unidentified spaceship, believed to be the vanadium hijackers, moving at extremely high speed. Course undetermined.
If any patrol ship does spot her, Captain Strong, how are they going to overhaul her?
I don't know, Astro, but we'll have to find a way.
Well, if we could isolate that ship in some single quadrant, Captain, one of our craft might be able to shoot her down.
That's what I had in mind, Roger.
Rocket Signal Orion, calling the Polaris.
Here comes something, Captain. We read you, Orion. Go ahead.
We just spotted the unidentified craft, coordinate 614567 by 434422.
Check those coordinates, Roger.
Yes, sir.
You were right about her speed. Our attempt to overhaul her failed. She refused to answer our ID request and lost touch. We're going to maintain the search.
Thanks, Orion. Keep us posted. Spaceman's luck. End transmission.
Sir, with their report and ours, I think I've got a fix on her course.
Well, where's she headed, Manning?
At the moment, sir, right toward the sun.
All right, men. Prepare to alter course. We're going to follow her in as far as she goes.
Mr. Wald, I presume you heard that conversation between the solar guard ships.
Yes, and I don't like it, Lamar. 2 ships reporting our position gives them a fix on our course.
Shall we alter it and head for outer space?
No, we won't be caught if we don't lose our heads. How far are we from our base now?
At this speed, some 7 hours or so.
All right, hold the course. We'll go there and hole up until it's safe to freight more of that vanadium back to Earth.
But what if they track us to our base?
The chances are pretty slim that they can do that, Lamar.
But if they do?
That will be too bad for them. Because if they do, they'll never live to report it.
Well, Captain Strong, that's that. Nothing to report. It looks like a clean getaway for those hijackers.
I wonder, Tom. Say, Astro, let's see that space chart again.
Here you are, sir.
Now, according to the fix we had on that ship, it was headed toward the sun, right, Manning?
Yes, sir. Not far from where the cargo ship was hijacked. You'd almost think they had their base on the sun.
That's impossible.
Look, Bubblehead, you don't have to tell me that.
Look here on the chart, fellas. At the present time, the sun lies directly between us and only one other planet.
Mercury.
Right, Tom. And since the LC Joe was hijacked very close to the sun, wouldn't it seem logical that the hijacker's base would be relatively close by?
Well, that makes sense to me.
Sure. Now, it looks to me as if we scared them, so they put on full speed and headed for their base, which is probably near here someplace.
Sounds right. And if true, they shouldn't be too hard to find.
Well, how can you say that, Captain? Mercury has a diameter of over 3,000 miles.
Yes, but they couldn't hide their base on the sunlit side of Mercury. The heat of the sun would be too much. Also, they would be detected too easily.
Well, they'd hardly set up a secret base in the Twilight Zone. That's the only place on the planet where there are any colonies.
Exactly, Astro, which leaves us only the dark side of the planet to search. Now, my guess is their base will be hidden there. Probably as close to the Twilight Zone as possible.
The dark side of Mercury. Oh, that's about as cold as Pluto.
Well, it's not exactly a pleasant place, but that's where we're going to have a look.
If I'd have known this, I'd have worn my electrothermal underwear.
Cut your jets, Roger. This is serious business. All right, men. Get to your stations. We're headed for Mercury.
Well, Lamar, have you picked up anything?
Yeah, a ship just came within range of our base radar, Wald. Headed this way.
Uh-oh. I was afraid of that.
By its contours, I guess it's the Polaris.
Polaris, eh? That strong ship. We've got to be careful of them. He's got a pretty good cadet crew.
I know. The Polaris was our escort ship when we pulled this job. I almost didn't shake them.
How long will it take them to get here?
Well, they should be in this latitude in another 10 minutes. Of course, they may pass right over. After all, this base is pretty well hidden.
Don't be a fool, Lamar. Our huts are bound to lose some heat no matter how well insulated. This makes it possible for their sensitive detectors to locate our base while still hundreds of miles away.
Well, then what can we do?
I've got a little surprise for them. Look here, Lamar. Ever see one of these?
Looks like an electron beam projector.
Right. It's an old weapon, but a good one. It will short out any electric circuit in a radius of as much as a mile.
But that's no good against the Polaris, Wald. Every rocket ship in the last 50 years has had counter-equipment triggered by the beam itself.
I know that, but I'm not going to use it against the ship, Lamar. I'm going to use it on the crew. You'll see what I mean when the time comes.
I won't have long to wait, then. Look at that screen.
Oh, they're entering the dark zone. What's their altitude?
Down about 60 miles. They've reduced speed, too. They're searching for our base.
Okay, let them find it. We'll be ready for them.
Any reaction from the screen, Tom?
Not yet, Captain. I'm adjusting the scanner now. Ah, here we are.
Well?
The detector indicates heat, sir, in small quantities, such as might escape from an insulated building.
Good. We've located their base. Put her on automatic stabilizer, Tom. We're going down. Good work, Astro. Come on up here. Tom, what about that heat source?
Well, we're somewhere within 1,000 yards of it, sir.
You can't see a thing out there. How are we going to find it?
On foot, Roger. All right, men, break out the pressurized suits.
Right, sir. Let's go, fellas.
And Tom.
Yes, sir?
Break out that special survival kit, too. We'd better take it along with us.
Right.
Now then, let's have a check. Sidearms, infrared spot.
Oh, I have that, sir.
Portable radar.
Right here, sir.
Survival kit. I'll take that. Now, recheck the heating and pressure units in your suits.
We wouldn't be able to walk with all this junk if the gravity were anything to speak of.
Out there, without this junk, as you call it, Roger, we wouldn't survive more than 5 minutes. Now, stand by to open the airlock.
There they are, Wald. They're coming out of the Polaris airlock now.
All right, Lamar. Turn on the beam projector.
Here it goes.
Let it warm up before you focus the beam.
It'll be ready in a minute. But you still didn't explain what you're going to do with it.
Let me get at that viewplate.
No.
This has to be focused exactly right. Give me the precise range.
The ship or the crew?
The crew, of course.
250 yards.
Good. Well within the most effective range. It should work perfectly.
But that beam isn't powerful enough to stop a man at any range over 10 yards.
No, but it's effective enough to short out the heating units in their spacesuits.
The heating units?
Sure. Without those,
How long do you think they can be active out there?
By Jupiter, they wouldn't last long. What an idea.
All right, Lamar, stand by. Just a few more yards, and we'll let them have it.
All right, men. Keep close together. Don't get separated in this darkness.
Will you listen to that wind? This is worse than Pluto. At least it's quiet there.
The detector indicates the heat source is over this way a few degrees, sir.
All right, Tom. Flash the spotlight that way, Astro.
Aye, sir. Still no sign of anything.
Well, they'll have it well camouflaged. You can bet on that. Keep your weapons ready. They may be tracking us.
The signal's at maximum, sir. We must be within a few yards of it.
Wait, Astro. Don't move the spot. I just saw something.
A flash of metal.
Very neat. Well, the ship must be concealed around here somewhere, too. Probably underground.
Hey, you know something, fellas? Imagination's a funny thing. Even in this insulated suit, I'm starting to feel cold.
You're space happy, Roger. How can you get cold with a heating unit in your suit? Hey, I don't feel exactly warm myself.
Hold it up, men. Something's gone wrong.
What is it, sir?
Our heating units aren't functioning. I'm beginning to feel cold myself. What about you, Astro?
Yes, sir. I hate to admit it, but I feel it, too.
Well, the heating units have conked out.
What are we going to do, sir? If we stay out here much longer, we'll freeze to death.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Listen to the pound of those giant drivers, sending that locomotive speeding down the main line. Well, that's only one of the 16 exciting action pictures you can see in the Magic Moving Picture Eye series. And you get a Magic Eye free at no extra cost in every package of Kellogg's Pep. How would you like to see William Holden, star of Paramount Pictures' Submarine Command, send up the periscope of the submarine and give the signal to fire the torpedo? Well, there's a Magic Eye that shows you just that. And there are other Magic Eyes that show you more movie stars, and trains, jet planes, and other exciting pictures. 16 different Magic Eyes altogether. Why, there's even a Magic Eye showing tennis star Bobby Riggs playing in a big game. You want to collect all 16 different Magic Eyes, so start now. Remember, you get a Magic Eye free at no extra cost in every package of the build-up wheat cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
In the merciless cold of the dark side of Mercury, where the temperature stands at almost absolute zero, 4 figures huddled together against a howling gale, their spacesuits rendered useless as protection against the elements, now that the vanadium hijackers have caused the heating units in them to cease operation. For a moment, they remain motionless in stunned realization of their plight. And then, with a mighty effort, Captain Strong forces himself to move.
The kit. I've got to get it open.
What's that, sir?
The survival kit.
What good is the survival kit now?
It can save our lives. If I can rip it open. There, that does it.
I'm numb.
Here. Emergency batteries. Quick, Tom. Attach this to your heating unit mechanism.
Yes, sir.
There's one for you, Astro. Manning? And I've got one, too.
My fingers. They're so stiff I can hardly move them.
Hurry. There's no time to lose.
There, Yes, I've got it. I've got mine, too. Oh, my feet.
Your extremities may hurt for a minute as the circulation starts again, but it won't last too long.
My ears feel like they're going to drop off.
Great galaxy, I didn't know how cold a man could be.
We'll be all right soon. Not for long. These are only emergency batteries.
Well, then, we'd better get back to the ship fast.
Not yet. We've still got a chance to capture those men.
How, sir?
Roger. Astro, lie down on the ground here.
Did you say lie down, sir?
Yes, as though you collapsed. Come on now. Be quick. We've got to work fast.
Okay, sir. Come on, Roger. Hit the deck.
Now, we're going to try to trap these men out in the open. When they spot you two lying here, they'll be sure you collapsed from the cold. They'll think that Tom and I are somewhere behind you.
Oh, I get it, sir. Astro and I are the decoys.
That's right. Now, when they come out here to investigate, we'll be ready for them.
Sounds like it might work at that.
It's got to work. All right, Tom. You come with me.
Yes, sir. But what if those men don't show up before these emergency batteries go dead?
Well, that's the chance we've got to take.
All right, Lamar, you can shut off that beam now.
Okay, Wald.
That should take care of our visitors. Now we'll have a look. Get into your spacesuit. I want you to go out there and find them.
Me? Oh, no thanks, Wald.
What do you mean, no thanks? That's an order.
I don't care what it is. I'm not setting foot out of here alone.
Oh, so that's what's on your mind. You don't trust me, eh? You think I'll try to do away with you?
You guess it.
Now, why would I want to do that, Lamar?
Because you don't need me anymore, that's why. You needed me to hijack that vanadium and help you establish the base here. But now things are getting hot, and I happen to be the only one who can put the finger on it.
Oh, you're crazy.
Am I? Don't forget I saw what happened to Franklin.
I had to get rid of him. The easiest way was to dump him in space.
Well, I'm not going to make things so easy for you.
Okay, if you feel that way, break out my spacesuit, too. We'll go out there together.
I'm afraid our trap's not going to work, Captain Strong.
It's beginning to look like it, Tom. And we can't wait much longer. These emergency batteries will conk out any minute now.
Hold it, sir.
What is it?
Look over there. That big boulder.
Say, well, for a second it seemed to be moving.
It is moving, sir. Look, it's the entrance to their underground hideout.
2 men are coming out. Stay down and keep them covered.
Don't worry, sir. I sure will.
Don't make a move now.
Hey, they're going over toward Astro and Manning.
That's just what I was hoping they'd do. Now we can move in behind them. Come on, Tom.
I'm with you, sir.
Loosen their spacesuits, Lamar. Make sure they're finished.
Okay, Wald. You keep looking for those other two.
That won't be necessary, mister. We're right behind you.
Strong. Drop those weapons. We've got you covered.
Astro, Manning, disarm them.
Right. You heard the orders. I'll take those guns. All right, you got it.
I'll say we have, and we've got the vanadium, too.
Good work, men. Step on it now. Let's get them aboard the Polaris.
Yeah. I want to be where it's nice and warm when these batteries go dead.
Roger, this is one time you and I agree completely.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. An adventure in which the cadet crew of the Polaris face death in space as the victims of willful sabotage in an interplanetary space tournament. Tune in, same time, same station, for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast were Al Markham, Jan Merlin, Edward Bryce, and James McCallion. Today's program was written by Gil Braun and directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Bank speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret. In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal all in one box. And no other raisin bran but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of Romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are standing on the bridge of a tramp steamer, a ship captain, sailing through the vast emptiness of the ocean, while on the deck below you, the crew, a desperate gang of cutthroats and murderers, are waiting for a signal that will give them your ship and bring you your death.
Listen now as Escape brings you Anthony Ellis's exciting story, The Tramp.
What a stinker. You can smell a rotten carcass from here. What a stinker.
He'll sail like a ruddy haystack, you know that, Alt.
She's what we've been looking for, Gowdy.
8 knots with the wind behind her. If she don't blow up. I don't like it.
There was 6,000 tons of the ugliest tramp I'd ever seen. The paint was scaling off her plates, and you could see the patches of rust. In the fog and mist she loomed over us dark in the night. We stood on the Liverpool dock, Gowdy, Winkle Jones, and me, and we sized her up. Yes. That's what we've been looking for, all right.
Where's she bound?
Barranquilla.
When'd you find her?
At the pub a bit ago. She's short-handed on crew, too.
What's her cargo?
What we've been waiting for. Scrap.
Oh.
Skipper's name is Blee. He should be easy. He drinks too much all the time. You know the kind. He was in the pub, too.
I still say she's too bloody slow. Scrap iron in her old and all.
Oh, Winkle, you're a warrior, that's what you are. Why don't you leave that thinking to Alt and me? I think. Do you think she'll do, Alt?
She'll have to do. We might not find another for months, and then we'll lose the deal.
That's all. I'm with you.
Well, I'm with you too, but I don't like the looks of her in that strait. Ruddy black hippopotamus. It'd be safer doing the blag than this. I hope to choke.
You're getting milky, Winky Jones?
No, I ain't milky. You's milky. Don't you go calling me milky, Bert Gowdy, or I'll stroke your shivvy.
God, you little maggot.
Maggot, is it?
Come on, both of you.
All right. What's the lay out?
But I'm going back to the pub. You boys wait at the hotel. I'll get things lined up with the skipper.
Think you'll take us on?
I told you he's short-handed. He'll take us on. You get your stuff packed. I'll see you later.
Right, chum.
I walked up the road to a walloper called a Jug. Inside were seamen mostly, and the rest, a lot of dirty muck from narcs to dodos. I spotted the captain, Blee, sitting in a corner, dipping his yellow moustache in a mug. And after I got my own pipe, I walked over to him. He was well canned, I could see that. Captain? What? Captain Blee? Aren't you skipper of the Lace Wing over at the docks?
I'm Blee.
Mind if I sit down?
Sure, don't mind. Who are you?
Arthur Jennings, Captain. I want to talk to you about shipping on.
On the Lacewing? What for?
I need a berth. I heard you were short-handed.
It's a dirty lie. Full compliment.
Oh. Well, I must have made a mistake.
What's your game?
Me? I don't follow you.
You trying to hop the twig?
Oh, no, I'm clean with the police, Captain, if that's what you mean. No, they're not after me.
And why do you want to sign up with a blister blathering scow like the Lacewing, eh?
It's like I said, I need a berth. I got me papers. Second officer in the last ship.
Let's see. Arthur Jennings. Yeah, take him.
Well?
Well,
am I hired?
How old are you?
34.
Know how old I am?
No.
I'm 60. I'm 60, and I'm hauling around a bill-stinking slush of rubbish like the Lacewing. Now, what that means, I might have had a Cunarder, but I ain't. I'm a failure. And I'm drunk. You sign up somewhere else, young fella.
Well, a job's a job.
I'm telling you. I need a man like you. I need a first officer, a second, and a third. I need a chief engine bloody near, and I'm going to settle for scrapings. That's what I always get, scrapings. Go on, clear out.
I still want to sign on. I hear you're bound for Barranquilla.
No bonus on my ship. Owner doesn't believe in it. Dirty dog.
Oh, that's all right.
You'll have lascars and mugs under you.
I'm used to it. I've been around. On the sea, one man's the same as another.
Yeah, you're a fool. But I need a mate.
Yeah.
You want to hire them in? We're short 18 and the pay's not worth a bunion.
I'll get them.
Yeah. We're sailing at 6 in the morning.
All right.
You're a fool. Don't turn up. I gotta have another pint.
Right you are, Skipper. You stay in and enjoy yourself. I'll take care of things topside.
What's your name?
Jennings, Arthur Jennings.
Jennings. All right. Jennings, tell that steward of mine who you are. He's aboard the Lacewing. Name's Seddon. Sneaking little pig. I don't trust him.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jennings.
Yes, sir.
Tell you something else. I don't trust you neither, see? You're too smooth. But you're not scuppering me, see? Don't forget.
It was as easy as pie. Of course, it had taken her time to find the right ship and the right skipper. Yes, better than 4 months. We had to be sure. Now, most tramps these days belong to a big company. They're part of a fleet. We couldn't use anything like that. It had to be what it was. The Lacewing. Panama registry. A general trader that nobody else would touch with a skipper to go with her. A ship that wouldn't be missed for a while. We found her. I picked up Jones and Gowdy and we went back to the ship. The steward, Seddon, was the only man aboard. He was a nervous little rat who looked all the time like he'd been caught doing something nasty.
This'll be your cabin, Mr. Jennings.
What do you take me for? You call this a cabin? It's not fit for a pig. Get it cleaned out.
Oh, yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Now, look here, Seddon. Mr. Gowdy is the new second officer, and Mr. Jones is chief engineer. That's Captain Blee's orders. See?
Yes, sir. I'll see their quarters is put to rights immediately, sir. You'd very well better.
Okay, that's all.
Shall I clean up in here first, sir?
No, up it.
Yes, sir.
Wait, I must say, nice work, nice work.
Yeah. It's a starter.
All very nice for you blokes, but me. I got to go down in the bowels of this bucket of boggy. Chief engineer. You think I want to blow myself up? I know what them engines is like without even looking.
You've got engineer paper and we need you down there. If you don't like it, you know what you can do.
Take no notice of Winkle, he's hungry. Now then, what next?
Well, as soon as the old man comes aboard, we'll see that he's all tucked in bed, nice and comfy, and he doesn't wake up until we're out of here.
What about the rest of the crew?
Well, what there is, we can manage. The ones I'm supposed to hire wouldn't sign up, see? That'll be the story. Don't forget it.
Right.
Well, you better get on the job now. I'll go ashore and send a cable that we've found it. We're shoving off at 6. The skipper was carried aboard by a couple of crewmen at 3 o'clock that morning. He was no trouble. He was out to the world. By 5, the rest of the men had straggled up the gangway. And at 6, we eased away from the dock. Then, after a bit, the lacewing was burying a dirty nose in the cross-chop of the Irish Sea. We were 3 days out of Liverpool. I got off the regular ship lanes as soon as I could, and there was no questions asked. But Captain Blee didn't budge from his cabin. I hadn't even seen him since putting out, and I made sure that the steward kept him well supplied with whiskey. Gowdy, Jones, and me were having grub in my cabin on that third night, and the ship was pitching and heaving like a donkey with the itch.
Sure. Oh, what a ship. Smooth as glass out there, and look at her. Oh, she'll never make it. The engines won't stand it neither. We're pushing her too hard.
Never mind that. What about the crew?
Pushover. Usual bunch.
Any troublemakers?
In this lot, don't make me laugh. Lot of mugs.
Well, you ought to be able to make it, then. The important thing is to keep the radio man quiet. That'll be your job, Bert.
Right.
What about them engines? Hey, I tell you, I've got to slow down. They won't hang together.
Mr. Mate!
Evening, Captain.
Who are these bleeders here?
Oh, you were a bit under the weather, Captain. I took 'em on in Liverpool as you requested. Your second officer, Mr. Gowdy, and Chief Engineer, Mr. Jones.
What do you think you're doing with my ship, mister?
Any complaints, sir?
I knew I didn't trust you, you blister blathering. Good thing said and told me. We're 10 degrees off course. Know that?
That's right, Captain.
Not anymore, it's not. I've set her back. You'd have us sailing to the Indies.
That's right, sir. That's where we're going.
Not on my ship. Barranquilla's my port. You want to blow us up? She's running too fast.
Close the door, will you, Bert?
Right, Joe. You're relieved, you are, mister. The ruddy lot of you fired, you hear that?
I put it to you, Captain, either way you like. You go along with us and you won't get hurt. You make any trouble, then we'll throw you overboard.
You what? Me? I'll have you in irons! Here, this is built to me! Doggone pots, you'll hang for this!
Oh, sorry, Captain. You want to take seconds now? You come in with us, and we'll give you a share or overboard. Now. No arguments this minute. Now.
I'll give you a share of my foot.
Knock him out.
Aggravating old bleeder.
Have a look outside. See it's clear, Jonesy.
Okay.
Better this way, I was afraid he might come in. We'd have to divvy up.
I didn't think he would.
All clear.
All right. Now, come on, Bert, give me a hand.
Heavy. You lord, the old tough guts.
Get over to the rail, Jonesy.
Okay.
Okay. Hurry up. Have a nice swim, Captain dear.
Well, that's that. In the morning, we'll break the sad news to the crew. Now, let's get this hulk back off course.
We will return to Escape in just a moment. But first, tomorrow night, Frank Lovejoy stars in Suspense's production of The Storm on most of these same CBS radio stations. It's a strange story about a man on a dance team who sets out to prove himself greater than a hurricane. And, needless to say, it's a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. Don't miss it tomorrow night at the Star's Address, presented by CBS Radio. Suspense, starring Frank Lovejoy. And now, back to Escape.
The next morning, I called the crew together on the upper deck. I had a slip of paper ready in my hand, and when they quieted down, I gave them the speech. Men, I've got a sad duty to perform. Last night, Captain Blee did away with himself. Yes, he jumped overboard. He committed suicide. He left a note for me, which I'll turn over to the proper parties when we reach port. Also, it is his instructions that we proceed to Dominica instead of Barranquilla. Now, I'm carrying out that order. And until we get to port, I shall be acting captain. That's all. Get back to your work.
So, what an actor you'd have made, Art. Lovely, absolutely lovely. He base swallowed it?
I think so. I'm not too sure about a couple of them, though. That steward sitting and the bloke with the mouthful of teeth, the donkey man.
Donkey? Austin. Him, looking this way.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep an eye on them both.
Now, you better get a message off to our boy in Dominica.
Think the radio man will get nosy?
There's no reason he should. And don't you give him any call to do that.
Don't worry.
It looked good. It was all going our way. The ship and her cargo of scrap was going to be worth $15,000 to us when we took her into port. That's the way we fixed it 6 months before. A couple of blokes I met in Liverpool. We were to find them a ship, hijack her, and sail her into Dominica with her cargo. Scrap, if possible. Then they were going to sail her out again to China. And Gowdy, Jones, and me, well, we'd blow down to Argentina with our $15,000 and have some fun. That's the way it was. And it looked like it was going to be stone ginger from then on. That's the way it looked until we were 2 days out of port. Come in. What do you want, Seddon?
Might I have a word with you, Captain?
I'm busy.
It's important, sir.
What?
It's about Captain Blee, sir.
What about it?
Well, sir, I hate to say this, but I don't think he met with no accident.
You don't?
No, sir. And seeing as how I know what really happened to him, I was thinking maybe it'd be worth a nicker or so if I kept my face shut.
Captain Blee jumped over the side, and I've got his note that says so.
Could I see the note, sir? I know the captain's writing like me own.
What makes you think it wasn't an accident, Seddon?
Seeing as how I saw what happened, sir.
Oh.
And seeing as how we'll be in port in a couple of days, I wouldn't want to make any trouble for you or any of the other gentlemen, sir.
Did you figure maybe something might happen to you?
Oh, yes, sir, I did. That's why a friend of mine, Mr. Austin, he knows about it too, just in case. Now, what you do, sir, is your own business, I'm sure. But don't you think it might be worth a little bit of fat to us?
You're a ruddy fool, Seddon. You should have waited. You should have waited.
Fair, ain't it? You did murder. You don't want to. Now, don't forget, Austin knows too.
He'll take care of Austin.
Now, look here. No need to get nasty. I'll keep the chap shut. Mr. Jennings, I'll give you my word. Don't hit me. Please.
The explosion threw us both off our feet. Seddon was first up. He got out of the cabin like a whippet. The engines had stopped, and I knew that whatever had happened was in the engine room. I got up to the bridge. Gardy was already there.
Can't raise anyone down there, old.
Jonesy below? I think so. Give it here.
Yeah.
Come on. I better get down there. Look at the crew go. We're in for it all. It's worse off if they get off in the boats. Seddon and Austin know what happened to the captain.
Game's up then.
Oi, Gardy.
It's me, Art. What happened, Jonesy?
Boiler's busted.
Fire?
No, but she's shipping water like a bloody sieve.
Are you all right?
Smashed me arm. Stoker's caught it. They're all done in.
I'll send some men. How many do you need to stop the leak?
You can't stop it. There's an old 6 feet or more, and another behind the boiler. I'm coming up.
Oh, we're done, we are.
Get over to the radio cabin. Don't let that man send an SOS quick.
He's got to, Art. We might not get picture.
You heard what I said. We've still got a chance after we take care of Seddon and Austin. If they split it all up. Yes, now go on.
What an horse flooding. Shall I give the order to abandon ship?
No, get the pumps going.
Yes, sir, but the cargo ship will explode and she's going faster.
Get on the pumps. Bert, get down there with them. I'll take care of the others.
Will you listen to me? It's too late. Move it!
I ran down to the radio room. We had to stop the call from going out because if there was a ship in the vicinity and it got to us before we put the quiet on Seddon and Austin, the three of us would hang. And the sinking ship was a sight less worry. I heard the message before I even opened that door. Stop it.
I've been sending it, sir. Already got an answer.
I said stop it.
We're sinking, sir. It's my duty. I have
We
to...
are not under yet. You think I want us hauled in for salvage rights? You sent out that we're okay, see? Now, you do it now. Need no assistance. Send.
There's a ship about 20 miles off, sir. She could stand by just in case. She's on her way.
You do as you're told. Need no assistance.
Better get them boats over the side. We're done for. 5 minutes, not even that.
Come on out here. Now, listen to me, Jonesy. We've got to get the steward and one of the crewmen, Austin. They've twigged. We've got to do it before we leave the ship.
How? What are you going to do? Shoot them in front of the crew? We wouldn't stand a chance. They'd carve us up. Let's get off this here tub. There's sharks out there, and I want a boat around me.
Not until we've taken care of those.
Now, listen. You do what you want. See, I'm clearing out now. I told you them engines wouldn't stand it. Well, they haven't. Now, I'll take me chances with the law, but not here.
Keep breaking up. I'll to get the boat over the side. Come on, let's get out.
I'm with you, Bert.
Abandon ship! Abandon ship! Abandon ship!
There was still a chance. I could do it myself. Find Austin. Find that dirty little rat Seddon. Do them both in, and there was still a chance that nobody would know. I went looking for them. The Tramp was listing and settling lower in the sea, and I ran from one side to the other. Hit it. Then I spotted them. The lifeboat was already in the water. I saw Seddon looking up at me, pointing. Then Austin saw me. I jumped for the boat, and I missed. She pulled away from the side. Wait! Wait! Hold up! Steady! Give us a hand! How's it feeling there? No, I don't please the Lord now. As soon as I handle you. Oh, I'll let you drown, you dirty murderer.
He's going to kill me.
No! Get me out! Get me out.
You make a confession, see? All these other blokes is witnesses. You confess. You confess now or you can swim for it.
All right, I did it.
What did you do? What did you do?
I killed the captain.
You and your mother, too? Answer me!
Yes!
All right. Come on now. I'll say.
along like a top. I'm all smiles and grace.
Just the first time I saw it. The very first time. I knew that Tramp was a stinker. Knew them engines were no bloody good.
Oh, shut it off, Winkle. Oi, Alt.
What?
Lovely grub, wasn't it?
All right, if you like jail grub.
Wish I had some bile beans. My stomach's sour.
Won't have to worry about that for long.
It's all right for you, Bert Gardy. Ain't your stomach. I should have known better than to screw up to a couple of half-wide mugs like you. $15,000. First time I saw that ruddy scowl, I knew.
Come off it, Jonesy. I want to get some sleep.
Always complaining. Oh, ain't it wicked when you think we're all going down to the same place? And he'll be there along with us.
I'll tell you, Bert. It's hopeless. He'll complain the rope's too tight around his neck when they hang us in the morning. What do you bet?
Escape has brought you The Tramp, written and directed by Anthony Ellis, starring Ben Wright as Jennings, with Jay Novello as Gowdy and Charlie Long as Winkle Jones. Featured in the cast were Tudor Owen, Alec Harford, Lou Krugman, and Charles Davis. Editorial supervision is by John Meston, and the special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are standing in a darkened room in the heart of Russia's dread Lubyanka prison, your mind tortured into blankness, while across a desk from you, happily smiling at you, is the chief of Russia's secret police, who intends to drive you to insanity or to death.
So listen next week when Escape brings you John Boehner's exciting story, The Man with the Steel Teeth. What's new with Our Gal Sunday? Following the latest case of Perry Mason, are things more complicated for young Dr. Malone? Confidentially, Aunt Jenny's in the midst of a mighty unusual story. There's a world of entertainment awaiting you every weekday in the daytime with CBS Radio's roster of wonderful dramatic serials. Tomorrow, listen in again and follow the latest in the lives of these familiar people. This is Roy Rowan speaking. And remember, daytime is a gay time with Arthur Godfrey Time. Every day on the CBS Radio Network.
Nestle's Quick for the greatest tasting chocolate milk and those famous Nestle chocolate bars present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Visions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol. In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are testing a new spaceship out beyond the Saturn orbit. Suddenly, they find themselves on a collision course with another spaceship.
That pilot must be crazy. He suddenly changed vector right toward us.
He's not trying evasive action, so it's up to us. Fire starboard rockets.
Commander, he's still coming at us.
Half that ship is a robot-controlled guided missile. If you don't blow it up, it's going to hit us. Stand by to fire space torpedoes.
Standing by, sir.
Fire number 1.
Commander, the torpedo controls are jammed. We're going to crash.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Image of Evil. Got big news today, Space Patrollers. Exciting news for all of you. So quick, get pencil and paper and keep them ready by your radios. Because in just a little while, I'm going to tell you how you can get the latest, the greatest, newest surprise Commander Corey has for all of you. And here it is, the new Cosmic Rocket Launcher. An exact pocket-sized model of the giant rocket used by Commander Corey in today's Space Patrol adventure. Specially constructed of sleek, durable plastic, this neat rocket is a big 6 inches long with a snap-on double-deck scout car. It's positioned on a brake-proof nylon launching cord 33 feet long for distance flight. You can send it on its way by pressing the trigger on a stainless steel launching gun. And it travels down that cord with trigger-fast speed. Hits the target and wham! Automatically launches the scout car. Yes, sir, a cosmic rocket launcher of your own means lots of fun, lots of action, too. So Space Patrollers, stand by. In just a few minutes, you're going to learn how you can get your own new sensational Cosmic Rocket Launcher. And now today's Space Patrol adventure, The Image of Evil. In his central office in Space Patrol headquarters on the man-made planet Terra, Commander Corey examines a model rocket ship of unique design. Hearing voices at the door, Buzz carefully places the trim model back into an Endurium case labeled Top Secret, as the civilian literally forces his way into the offices, despite the protests of Cadet Happy.
Hey, just a minute.
I've got to see Commander Corey.
You can't just barge
I'll talk
in
to
here.
no one else, understand?
All right, what's this all about?
This man just pushed past the guard at the end of the hall.
Hold on, one at a
I
time.
tried to
It's
stop
all
him.
right, Happy. Now, mister, let's have your story.
Believe me, Commander, I wouldn't have forced my way in here on purely personal matter. There's something you ought to know right away.
Now that you're in here, let's have it.
Commander, Prince Potrati has escaped.
Prince Baccarati? Why, he's
I
in the...
saw him at the Lowell City Spaceport on Mars.
Who are you?
You think I'm crazy, don't you? Well, I'm Aaron Sarkane of Jupiter. And I can refer you to several prominent people who will vouch for my sanity and my reliability.
Mr. Sarkane, I don't doubt your sincerity, but Prince Baccarati is undergoing treatment at the Criminal Rehabilitation Center on Venus. He's been there for months. And he won't be released as cured for nearly a year.
Yes, I know that. But I also know that the man I saw was Potrati. Believe me, if there was the slightest doubt, I would merely have reported my suspicion to a minor authority on Mars instead of coming directly to you.
If Baccarati had escaped, I wouldn't blame you for being concerned, but I think I can ease your mind. We have personnel sent who will give us an answer.
We have personnel section, Agent Grayson.
Commander Corey here, Grayson. I need some information.
Yes, Commander.
Where at this moment is Prince Baccarati?
Why, he's still in his rehab, sir.
Yes, I know, but at exactly what stage is the processing? Check with Venus and call me back immediately. Corey out.
Yes, Commander.
Now, Mr. Sarkane, if Baccarati had escaped, Rehab Personnel Center would have been notified.
Fears I've made somewhat of a fool of myself tonight. Still, I'd swear the man I saw was Prince Potrati.
Then you knew Baccarati personally?
Not intimately. I have no dealings with the man. But I have met him some years ago. He's not the type of man one easily forgets.
I agree with you, Mr. Sarkane. However, there's several billion people in the solar system. There are bound to be similarities.
Yes. I don't know which is the great, my embarrassment or my relief in knowing that that monster isn't Lucifer. My apologies.
It's all right, Mr. Sarkane.
Thank you. My apologies to you, too, for that I
Forget it.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye. Poor guy. He really thought he had a hot piece of news. He's not at all the excitable type. Very surprising. Oh, speaking of surprises, I've got one for you, Hap. Open that box.
Yes, sir. Hey, top secret.
All right, you're in there.
Wow. A model rocket ship. And what a beauty. But what's that other gadget?
That's a launching device. This is a model of what you and I are going to test in a couple of days. The Cosmic Rocket Launcher.
Oh, so this is the secret project of Saturn testing.
Right. An important new exploration and space search tool, Happy. See how the scout car attaches to the under part of the rocket ship?
Yes, sir.
That scout car can be released to make short auxiliary searches or rescue missions. Here, I'll show you what I mean. I take that book with you, turn across cover and hold it out arm's length. That's on your side.
Like this, sir?
That's fine. Now I'll put the rocket ship in the launching mechanism.
Oh, it works something like a gun.
Now, this model does, yes. Now, I'm going to fire the rocket at that book you're holding. Now, watch what happens to the scout car.
Hey! The rocket ship released the scout car when it hit the book.
Mm-hmm. The release mechanism is in the nose of the rocket ship. Naturally, on the actual ship, the scout car can be released in several different ways. Proximity, vector, manual controls, and the ship or scout car.
Oh, it's a wonderful gadget. May I work it once?
Certainly, huh? Now, hold it a minute. Headquarters, mandatory here.
This is Grayson, Rehab Personnel Center. I've got the data on Baccarati.
All right, Grayson.
Mr. Baccarati is in the suspended animation section, Venus Rehab Center. Now undergoing stage 5 of the correctional therapy process.
Electro-reassociative orientation. No one can get him out of that.
Right, sir. That wasn't why your question surprised me a while ago. We've had 4 reports from various parts of the solar system of people who were certain they'd seen Prince Baccarati.
Over what period, Grayson?
Oh, last 8 days. Oddly enough, those people making the reports weren't in the crackpot category. For all of them to be true, though, Baccarati would have to be on 3 different planets at the same time. Not even he could do that.
All right, Grayson. Well, thanks very much. Corey out.
Well, that settles that. Arcane sure was imagining things.
Perhaps. Just thinking. Baccarati has been out of circulation for months. Now, within a short period, several people think they see him. Some distance from Space Patrol headquarters on Terra, 2 men are in earnest conversation. Larger man grins evilly. Aaron Sarkane speaks.
Commander, prove to me that I was right. They didn't bring Prince Baccarati when I saw. I pretended to be embarrassed enough.
Good, Sarkane. Now I can move about openly.
Frankly, I'm glad it's over. Believe me, it isn't easy to crash into Space Patrol headquarters and lie to Commander Corbett.
The bigger the lie, the less the risk. Tyrants through the ages have proved that. And now, with my twin brothers safely in the Venus Rehabilitation Center, I can take over. I, Zoltan Baccarati, can come into my rightful heritage as the true Prince Baccarati.
And the other Baccarati was an imposter.
The youth Sarkane. But the three of you are twins. You, Sarkane, being a commoner, a peasant, wouldn't understand. Once my family ruled Jupiter and controlled most of the other planets.
Yes, I know history.
How sweet it is to hear that song. Although my brother and I were twins, I was born first by about 10 minutes. But my evil twin was ambitious and conniving. He cheated me out of my birthright. Before he was 14, he vanished into obscurity.
He's still at my very right. I lived under another name, I must say. And your brother will be.
Yes. But now he's in the Venus Rehabilitation Center. Now with my twin, I will become more powerful than he ever dreamed of being. And unlike my brother, I can move freely from planet to planet.
Because of your brother?
Yes. It took me years to find out. Innocent, law-abiding men who look like me, and my twin brothers. And I have hired men like you to report to the Space Patrol unit that Prince Baccarati has us.
And now the Space Patrol is so tired of the reports that even the real Prince Baccarati would appear without being there.
I am the real Prince Baccarati.
Of course, that's what I mean.
Only my brother's secrets are the Space Patrol pocket. In the code, the Space Patrol hasn't been able to get.
But wasn't your brother doing a brainograph test right after he was
Yeah. But the papers weren't discovered until my brother was in the rehabilitation center under processing. Your job, Sarkane, is to get those papers out of the files.
Yeah. Only authorized agents are permitted.
I know that. I have an exact duplicate of the credentials of the Space Patrol career. You will pose as the courier. You will go to the records division, section 18. Give me a pain, Commander. They turned in a 10-page report on what I had for breakfast. This one, for example.
Oh, you're following Lieutenant Woodson's report, huh? Yes, sir. Typical. Our patrol pilots flashed a couple of spaceships full of crooks, and they tell the whole story in a 10-word spacergram. And then a messenger like Lieutenant Woodson writes a novel about his wallet. Lieutenant Woodson is only following orders, Hunter. He suspects somebody of tampering with his credentials. Certain identification cards seem to be in a different order on the wallet. That's important. Remember, he has access to the records division. That's considered important enough to alert the records division guards against forged credentials. Oh, well, it just seems like a lot of red tape to me. I guess I got a cosmic rocket on my mind. I know, well, as soon as we get this routine work out of the way, the sooner we blast off the Saturn. A surface car pulls up in the deserted parking area close to the Space Patrol Records Division building. Aaron Sarkin punches an empty briefcase and gets out of the car.
Suppose they stop. They won't stop you. You're wearing a Space Patrol lieutenant's uniform. And you got the proper credentials. Just like natural Sarkin. Here's what I know. Don't worry. These clerks work by numbers. They won't even know that you're getting Prince Baccarati's papers. And if they do, well, you got a ray gun. Now get going.
A few moments later in Space Patrol headquarters, Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are reviewing the cosmic rocket launcher operations procedure when the emergency intercommunications alarm sounds. Just a moment, huh?
Yes, sir. Headquarters, Commander Corey here.
Records Division, Section 18, Technical Sergeant Markham reporting, sir.
Yes, Sergeant?
Response to alert order 1732
Go ahead.
The courier is here in this section, Commander. Presented identification card number SPC00687. The number on the alert order.
Is this man with you now?
No, sir. I left you back in corridor 8, file section 27B. I thought I'd better... No.
Hello, Sergeant. Sergeant Markham. Come on, Happy, and get to the elevator. We're going down to the records section. Swiftly, the elevator drops to the lower levels of the Space Patrol headquarters building, and Buzz and Happy hurry down a deserted corridor of the record division. Now, this way, Hap. Here's Section 18.
Yes, sir. Commander, look, it's the guard.
Sergeant Markham.
Someone slugged him when he was on the intercom.
And cut off the connection.
Chances are, whoever it was coming.
Get your ray gun ready.
Yes, sir.
Hold it right where you are.
Commander, it's Sarkin.
All right, Sarkin. What are you doing in that uniform?
I can explain everything, Commander.
What have you got there? Give it to Happy.
Yes. Here you are.
Yeah, and I'll just take that ray gun, Sarkin.
You got in here with Lieutenant Woodson's duplicated credentials. What was he after, huh?
Oh, they're these papers. They're the undeciphered code on Prince Baccarati.
Well, Sarkin, you seem to have an unusual interest in Baccarati. You tell me you've seen him in Mars, and now you're sneaking into the file section with false credentials.
Commander, I need your help. Listen to me, please.
Okay, Commander, look out!
Get your hands off, Corey. You two, Cadet.
Rocket. It's Prince Baccarati.
Yes. Prince Baccarati, the real prince. I'm sure you came just in time. I got a buzz gun here, Corey, so don't attempt any heroic.
Yeah, well, you do look like Baccarati.
Naturally. I'm his twin brother's old time.
His twin brother? Well, I didn't know
Listen, all of you. There is only one thing my brother and I have in common. Our hatred of Commander Corey. With you out of the way, either of us could have ruled the United Planet.
That's flattering, old time, but not necessarily true.
Oh, yes, it is. And I'm going to prove it now. Regarded the exit is unconscious. Sarkin and I can be out of here with my brother's secret records in just a few seconds. Get out of the line of fire, Sarkin. I am going to dress Corey and the Cadet.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. You just shoot it, and boom, watch it go. A direct hit every time. Because the cosmic rocket is guided by you from the trigger of its stainless steel launching gun. And that gun's got a special spring, powered for long-distance flights or short hops, up or down its 33-foot nylon cord. Play with a cosmic rocket launcher as often as you like. The rocket and its snap-on double-deck scout car are made of break-proof, shatter-proof plastic in beautiful colors, red and yellow. Launch it solo or with one of your pals. Set up your target, rig your sighting line, press the trigger, and away it flies like a shooting star. Hits the target and automatically launches the scout car. Super neat, Senior George. That's the Cosmic Rocket Launcher. Easy to play with, easy to get. Ready with your pencils and papers, Space Patrollers? Here's how. Send a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top, or send the special premium panel from the side of a Nestle's Quick Can or the lid, together with your name and address, and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now back to our Space Patrol adventure, The Image of Evil. In the Records Division of Space Patrol Headquarters, Buzz and Happy cornered Aaron Sarkane in the act of stealing a file of secret documents on the arch-criminal Prince Baccarati. Baccarati's twin brother, Zoltan, surprised the Space Patrolman and is now threatening to destroy them with a blast gun.
Start toward the exit, Sarkane. I'll take care of Corey and the cadet.
Yes, Your Highness.
Commander, he's a living image of Prince Baccarati.
Yes, and just as evil.
No, Corey. I'm not evil. I'm only getting what was originally mine. My brother deprived me of my heritage. He misused the power he took from me. But with these records, I can find the fortune he hid. The treasure he concealed on half a dozen planets.
We're forgetting those papers are in code. A code that even our top cryptographers couldn't crack.
Oh, I shall have no trouble, Commander. For ages, the Baccaratis have had their own family secrets.
Your Highness, let's get out of here.
In a moment, Sarkane.
Baccarati, why did you send Sarkane to my office to tell me he'd seen your brother on Mars?
This merely to create a confusion. I reasoned that if Prince Baccarati was being seen everywhere, you space patrollers would cease paying attention to any of the reports, and I could travel as I pleased.
Otherwise, you'd have to alter your appearance by plastic surgery.
Exactly. And that, of course, is unthinkable. Why? Any change would be an improvement. I can't expect the peasant to appreciate the noble countenance of a Baccarati. Look at this face. It has the Baccarati brow, the Baccarati nose, the Baccarati chin. I ask you, where have you seen anything like it?
On a pack rat in a Venus warehouse.
What's that?
The general alarm. And you won't be able to escape. The exit is locked.
That's impossible. I knocked the guard out with a ray gun.
If he doesn't ring in every 3 minutes, the alarm sounds and the exit's locked automatically.
I knew we shouldn't have come in. Shut up, Sarkane. Commander Corey undoubtedly has a master key. Search him.
Yes, Your Highness.
I've got it. Now, let's get out of here. Corey, I can't finish you with the blast gun. The guards would hear it. This ray gun will have to do for now. Now, Sarkane, let's get out of here.
By the time guards reach Buzz and Happy, Baccarati and Sarkane have escaped from the Records Division. An hour passes before the effects of the ray gun wear off, and Buzz is able to issue an all-planets alarm for Baccarati. Now, in his central office, Buzz picks off his spaceophone and turns to Happy.
That's all they can do right now, Hap. But inside of an hour, every space patrol in the solar system will be looking for Zoltan Baccarati. It's going to be tough on those doubles of his.
They can easily prove who they are.
Well, the original Prince Baccarati was bad enough, but this twin of his, wow.
Zoltan may be worse. He feels that his brother gave him a raw deal, so he's out to make up for lost time.
I guess the first thing he'll try to do is pick up some of the money his brother stashed all around over the solar system. I mean, after he deciphers his coded papers he stole from the file.
He'll probably lie low and have someone else pick up the money. With the entire space patrol alerted, we'll get him eventually. Well, let's get to the spaceport.
Yes, sir.
Bring the data on the cosmic rocket launcher. I'll brief you while we're on the flight to Saturn. Between orbits of Jupiter and Saturn, a private space cruiser follows a vector remote from the regular space lanes. Aaron Sarkane carefully watches the viewscope screens while Zoltan Baccarati barks instructions to his henchman by spaceophone.
Take care of that immediately. Remember, I will tolerate no mistakes. Baccarati out. You see, Sarkane, there is nothing to worry about. Soon I will have most of my brother's money. And with that, I can rule the universe. But Corey knows you're right. Corey is my chief obstacle. However, he will not oppose me for long. In a few hours, I will be rid of Corey for good.
Thank you, Your Highness. I don't like the idea.
Your opinion means nothing to me, Sarkane. You are like most men, ruled by fear, limited by a lack of imagination. But I am a Baccarati. Remember, what is an obstacle to an end is not an obstacle to an eagle. And I, Sarkane, am an eagle.
Yes, yes.
In a few hours, Corey will be out beyond the Saturn orbit, testing the cosmic rocket. There is my opportunity to destroy him. One of my spies on Saturn has given me the test vector Corey will use.
And you expect me to crash that old robot-controlled cruiser into the rocket?
It will be easy. Even if Corey sees the cruiser, he won't expect an attack. Suddenly, it will be upon him. And once the test ship is in range of the automatic target selector, the cruiser will crash into Corey's ship. You can't avoid it. But suppose it blasts the cruiser before him, that problem has been taken care of. All right, Sergeant, take me to Jupiter. I'll wait there while you finish Corey. If you follow my instructions, your control ship will never be detected.
At the Saturn test base, Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are at the controls of the new rocket ship, ready for blast-off, making a final checkup.
Scout car release mechanism in order, Commander.
Stand by for blast-off.
Standing by, sir.
Remember, the first man to recover from blackout presses the automatic space-phone signal to notify base control.
Yes, sir.
There's a green warning light from base operations center. At the kickoff buzzer, press the rocket launching control. Up, ship and away.
Spacephone signal.
It's all right, Hap. I've already taken care of it.
Oh. Hey, how long have I been out?
Take a look at the vector indicator.
Look, the rockets were nearly to the first test point.
Right. We've run under 8 G's acceleration for 30 minutes. I came to shortly after the automatic control cut down to 1 G.
There's Saturn moon number 8 in the viewscope screen. That's our first objective, right?
Just the proximity release control for the scout car, huh?
Yes, sir. 1,000 BUs.
You know the procedure?
Yeah. I board the scout car. After automatic ejection, I pilot the scout car to moon number 8, land, and then at a signal from you, I blast off and attach to the rocket ship again.
Right. Now, wait, Hap. There's a ship crossing our test vector.
What's he doing out here? Hey, it's a private cruiser.
An odd place for a private cruiser to be. Thousands of BUs off the space lane.
Hey, that pilot must be crazy. He suddenly changed vector right toward us.
He's not trying evasive action, so it's up to us. Fire starboard rockets.
Commander, he's still coming at us. He changed direction just when we did.
Yeah, that ship is a robot-controlled guided missile. Somebody's deliberately trying to wreck us.
Look at rockets.
If you don't blow up that cruiser, it's going to hit us. Stand by to fire space torpedoes.
Standing by, sir.
Fire number 1.
Commander, the firing controls are jammed. We're going to crash.
We've got one more trick.
How can you trick a missile?
We'll throw it a bone.
A bone?
The scout car. We release the scout car and then swerve suddenly. The robot seeker may hold on to the scout car.
We haven't much time, sir.
Release scout car.
There it goes, zooming out ahead of us.
Right for the robot. I'm going to change course.
It worked, Commander. The cruiser didn't swerve. It stayed right on the beam, headed for that scout car. Well, that takes care of the robot ship.
Yes. The cost of the scout car.
I'm glad you thought of ejecting the tires. I'm surprised that robot ship didn't keep on after us. After all, this ship is so much bigger than the scout car.
Yes, but when we shot the scout car on ahead, it returned stronger impulses to the robot guiding mechanism than this ship did.
Well, somebody certainly doesn't like us.
Yes. Anxious to know who it is. It must be fairly close. It'd have to be in order to have brought that robot ship exactly across our vector the way they did.
I'll cut on the viewscope scanner, sir.
Sartain to Baccarat.
Baccarat here.
It worked, Your Highness. I just saw the explosion.
Very good. Now, come to Jupiter medium. With Corey out of the way, you can start putting my plans in operation.
Wait. I just saw something in useful. I don't understand it. It's the rocket.
What?
It isn't even harmed. The rocket you crashed into it. I saw the explosion.
Corey must have fixed the space torpedo mechanism. It's blown after robot.
Your Highness, I think he's sighted it. The ship is coming toward me. What do I do now?
That is up to you, Sartain. From now on, you're on your own. Goodbye, Sartain.
Your Highness, help me, please. Your Highness, please.
Retaining on him, Commander.
Make a race out of it.
Torpedo mechanism fixed.
Keep working on it, Hap. I'll try to contact him. Commander Corey aboard test rocket ship CL-85, calling private cruiser Class C now on 35-degree heading toward Saturn moon number 8. Acknowledge. Commander Corey calling private cruiser Class C. I'm 5 DUs astern of you. Cut your rockets and prepare to be boarded.
You'll never come aboard this ship, Corey.
Commander, it's Sartain.
Sartain, is Baccarati aboard? Answer me.
Make a mark. If I tell you where to find Baccarati, will you give me a break?
I don't make deals with crooks.
Thank you, mate. I'll tell you this. Never get aboard this ship.
Commander, I found the trouble. The firing mechanism is okay now.
Good. Then a torpedo over Sartain's ship.
Yes, sir.
Sartain, are you going to surrender?
All right, fine, under 1 half. How about it, Sarkane? We can come closer, you know. All right, half fire 2.
No, with me. No, I don't plan.
Hold it, man. All right, Sarkane, cut your rockets.
Yes.
If you join airlocks, come into this ship. And remember, we'll have ray guns ready, so don't try anything.
I won't, Commander. I give you my word.
That's a lot of assurance.
I won't give you any trouble. I'll tell you where you can find Baccarati. He's hiding out a few miles from Jupiter City. Thank you. Sorry.
Baccarati? He's been listening.
Yes, Commander. I've been eavesdropping. I was disappointed to learn that my plan had failed. But the next time, you won't be so lucky.
Your twin brother tried to get me too, Baccarati. You know where he is. In fact, Baccarati, I guarantee that you and your brother will soon have a family reunion.
In just a moment, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Brought to you by Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packaging. Wind it up, put it in your pocket, take your own cosmic rocket launcher with you wherever you go. You can do it, Space Patrollers, because that slick-looking rocket and neat double-deck scout car are made of real, durable plastic. Swell, bright colors, red and yellow. And don't forget, all 33 feet of that special nylon thread is break-proof. The launching gun is of sturdy stainless steel with long-distance power built right into it.
Right, Captain Tufeld. Space Patrollers, this is Commander Corey. I want every one of you to have this exact pocket-sized model of my own cosmic rocket launcher. Operates just like mine, too. A big 6-inch rocket whizzes down a nylon launching cord, hits a target, and automatically launches the double-deck snap-on scout car. And there's a space inside the scout car for important secret messages. Now, gang, listen while Captain Tufeld tells you how to get yours.
To get your cosmic rocket launcher, send a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top, or send a special premium panel from the side of a Nestle's Quick Can or the lid, together with your name and address and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy have trapped Prince Baccarati in his retreat on Neptune.
Keep it covered, Happy. If he makes one move, use your ray gun.
Yes, sir.
What's that noise?
Nothing to be alarmed about.
Oh, my hand! The ray gun is red hot. I couldn't hold it.
Baccarati, what...
Commander, our gun's melted. Vaporized.
This blaster is still all right. And if either of you move, I'll be glad to prove it.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, The Phantom Visitor. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Devereux. Other players were Bela Kovac, Norman Jolly, and Ken Mayer. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday for exciting action on Space Patrol. Space Patrol was brought to you today by Nestle's Quick, for the greatest tasting chocolate milk, and those famous Nestle chocolate bars. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. This program is broadcast for Armed Forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.